Welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role, our Halloween edition, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. Hi. Tonight, we will astound you with spooky tales. I don't know what's gonna happen because we're just gonna continue the game that we normally play. But welcome, I'm Matthew Mercer, the Dungeon Master. For those who don't recognize my costume, you're really confused. Especially if this is your first time tuning in. Sorry.
I am not Dungeon Mastering like that for the rest of the evening because I will have to run into traffic after an hour.
Yeah!
But I do want to give a quick thank you to Amazon for delaying all my orders, making me put together my costume last minute out of shit I found at Home Depot. So thanks, Amazon. It's fantastic. I appreciate it. All right, anyway, I guess we should probably go through everyone else to see the magnificent costumes around us.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and start over here with our fantastic resident.
I am Hotis, the Rakshasa, and I cannot speak with my mouth hole.
I have Clarota, but the mask is currently on its way here because I didn't have nearly enough coffee. So on the break there will be a giant squiddy mask that is terrible, just terrible. It's the worst thing.
Clarota.
Then Clarota.
There you go.
Clarota
Perfect.
Rags.
I am Dr. Anna Ripley from Wildmount.
You suck, Ripley.
This is very heavy. This is a bludgeoning weapon. It is not a piercing weapon. It is a bludgeoning weapon. Right hand to the Briarwoods. And Uber Percy fangirl. That's me. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
But I-
Yeah, go
you should
yeah.
stand.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. All right, Liam.
Hi, I am Tyriok. I make maps.
Why are you having trouble picking that up?
Oh, well, I was turned to stone recently, and I don't have 2 arms anymore. I have 1. I can still roll dice, though, and I have maps, and I have a compass. And, I'm the least dangerous person at the tables. Yes. I'm not level 1 in anything, really, except maps. I'm level 15 in maps. I'm just happy to be here and be alive, mostly.
We've been opening doors for him all night.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liam. That's awesome. Laura.
I'm Lady Briarwood.
Ow!
The man I broke the world for.
You broke it for me, baby.
That's right. You should say who you are.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm Lord Briarwood.
Nice.
Yes. Undead. Betrothed.
That's
to you.
right.
Do you know
More
that
than betrothed.
people who are in love high five?
Nice.
We be
What
representing the dead motherfuckers in this game.
I'm not dead.
Are you not?
Just inside.
Just inside.
Oh.
Actually, me and you
Actually,
are the only dead
no,
ones.
I am dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
hey,
up?
No,
Dead
no,
people,
I'm dead.
what's up?
No, you're dead. You're
You're
dead.
dead.
now.
That's right.
I
She just
You were
wasn't
dead.
undead.
Currently dead, but
Yeah.
you weren't undead.
Exactly.
Right,
I,
you're
mis-
both-
I misunderstood.
You're both dead.
Spoilers.
You're destroyed.
I'm dead.
You're dead.
Okay.
By
Yeah.
sunlight.
You're
I'm in
somewhere.
another plane of
Yeah.
existence, probably.
You're having a real rough week right now. That's what you're doing.
My arm is dead.
You're the
There you
only
go.
person alive.
Cheers.
And you, of course.
Pardon me.
Hey.
I can't hear you. Like,
What?
Cheers,
yeah,
Victor.
cheers. Salute, bitches.
Hey.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
So that's it. That's the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for
Really.
Hey.
We shall, let's get into our announcements for the evening.
Yes,
Hey.
yes.
I need my hand to do that. This is, by the way, this is pre-finger loss. Victor, I know there'll be some purists out there be like, why does he have all his fingers in his right hand? Matt, you're so inaccurate to your own character. I'm like,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
This is
well.
great. All right, so first and foremost, tonight's
I cut
episode
off my
is
own
sponsored
arm.
by Loot Crate.
Loot Crate!
They're awesome.
Get your maps off the table,
We got
Tyriak.
Sorry.
we've got an unboxing to do here with their last month theme here, but before we get to that, Sam, did you want to?
I just wanted to say, guys, that this month's theme for Loot Crate is magic. And I don't have much planned tonight, but I did learn a magic trick.
Oh, you did?
So I'm going to do a magic trick. It's the first magic trick I've ever done.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't have a deck of cards at home, so I'm going to use spell cards instead. Just give it a little shuffle here.
Oh, hey there, cowboy.
Please let something come out of your ass.
Taliesin, can you just give it a shuffle?
I'll give it a
Or
shuffle.
something.
No.
Something just,
Liam, do you want to shuffle
no,
these?
just we got to
Sure, I got it. We got 30 minutes, right?
Wait, no, yeah, give it a shuffle, Liam.
Sure, let me shuffle that.
Guys, ready your wands.
No, like a
ready
shuffle,
your
man, like a
potions,
shuffle.
And get ready for November's enchanting theme, Magical. We've cast a powerful ancient spell to deliver you this 100% exclusive crate featuring bewitching items from Doctor Strange, fantastic beasts, and where to find them. Big Trouble in Little China. And more. Remember the promo links to the show. lootcrate.com/critical role.
Marvelous. Sam slowly becomes Bill Cosby. You're saying
No, you can't take that back.
Too scary.
Okay. I'm just going to show Taliesin here. Just going to show Taliesin that these are just in fact randomly shuffled cards. Can you please just give the card deck a little cut anywhere you'd like? Okay, I'm going to look at this half of the card deck, and it will tell me what's in the other half of the card deck. Oh, okay. I know, Taliesin, by looking at that the fourth card down is see invisibility.
The fourth card
The
down.
fourth card down is see invisibility.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. So this card right here. That
Will
if I
be
flip,
see invisibility.
it's like Nicolas Cage.
This
as
is so
as a cat.
exciting.
This is. It is in fact see invisibility. It is in fact see invisibility.
And the most magical part of this trick is that it makes me a quadruple threat actor, singer, professional lover of ladies, and now professional magician.
Oh,
so thank
man.
you.
Unstoppable.
Remarkable Nicolas Cage impersonator too. This is really, it's really amazing.
My mouth hurts so much right now.
Vax up in the hurt inside.
Don't do not.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, Luke Gray.
That's great.
Yeah, go on. Great.
Well, actually, these are from October. These are
These are the horror themes.
These are not the magic theme.
No.
No,
I
these
don't
are
know
horror
about
themes.
that.
This is what everyone should be getting this month.
Just use a plastic.
Oh.
What?
Okay, that's the
What
coolest.
is
Are those
So,
Freddy
yes.
Krueger chopsticks?
Yes, I
That's
think.
actually pretty badass.
Little chibi Leatherface.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome.
for,
Of all
for
the
the
things
kids.
you thought could never be cute, Leatherface.
Little Leatherface.
Wait, I gotta see if
Love
this is
it.
actually usable or not.
And then you can-
Got it.
Oh,
It's
good
off.
job.
hand.
Well done.
Cheerio.
Well done.
Ooh, Camp Crystal Lake. This is going
Ooh,
on.
a little pennant. My
they
son
come
will
out?
love that. Big
Oh.
fan of the movie.
I'm gonna wear this for my kids all the
Those are
time.
regrettable supervillains.
No way.
Regrettable superheroes.
Yes.
A
Earlier in the
legion of
series.
regrettable supervillains.
Too soon, guys. Just too soon.
Are these-
This is way too
Page
soon.
pod peeps in there somewhere.
Just too soon. This
Oh.
is
They're
too
just
soon.
way too heavy. to
Praying
pick up.
Mantis Man and the Blue
I mean, it
Beetle
was 5 seconds ago.
Cat Girl.
Really.
Animal
really
vegetable
Lake.
mineral
Oh, that
man.
makes me happy.
Really?
These
Friday the
chopsticks
13th,
are
man.
amazing.
That's a really bad
That was
one.
fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, the chopsticks are kind of like.
I'm
The
bettering myself.
chopsticks
you
are
guys,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
Don't-
Krueger
Don't try to pick up
chopsticks,
metal
guys. Freddy
dice with
Krueger.
them because they're way too heavy.
Don't eat metal dice.
Don't eat metal dice.
Ooh, The Walking Dead too.
Pretty good.
I call dibs on this next week.
There you go. Well, guys,
Okay.
thank you very much, Luke Crate.
Thank you.
Sponsor us. We
there's little
appreciate that.
mascots.
You can go to lootcrate.com/critical role.
Promo code Critical Role.
Yeah.
Beginner's
Well
luck.
done.
That's right.
Good job.
That one's gonna fail you
Miyagi-san.
every time.
20.
A proper necromancer.
No.
Great.
That would have been impressive.
That would have been.
All right, next up, let's see. GM tips. We now have the second episode just went up today on YouTube. They go out a couple days early on Alpha if you want to check that out. But the most recent episode deals with improvisation and dealing with the unexpected. I'm pretty excited about this new run. We get to go a little more in depth with elements of running your own games at home, so be sure to check them out. Every week we'll have new ones coming up for the next 6 or so more weeks. I can't remember how many episodes we did, but they're coming out for a while, so every week, new one coming. Alpha on, I think, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and then on Thursdays on YouTube, so check out that out, guys.
Awesome.
Let's see. Next up here, We have Titanfall 2 came out.
Titanfall 2!
Yay.
It's fun. I play Jack Cooper, your protagonist in the single-player campaign. It's basically a futuristic buddy cop film with a giant robot. It's kind
You
of fun.
sound sexy in that, man.
Well,
just saying.
Thank you.
You do.
I knew.
It's so what I did. I like this the entire game.
That's a whole different Titanfall.
Yeah. Yeah, check it out. I'm really proud of it.
I'm in there too. I've returned from the first game as Barker, and I will yell at you if you are on my faction.
Oh, nice.
Man, that's got some weight to it, son.
Yeah.
It's like at least a D8.
Especially with
At least.
And that was the end of Tyrion.
I shot something else off.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps losing pieces.
Telltale's Batman Episode 3 came out.
Yay!
Really like the way that's going. It's fun.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah.
There's some good stuff happening in that episode.
Who is this Batman
Let's
character?
see,
Right?
next up, our Critical Role Halloween costume contest finishes next week. Halloween night is the last time to submit, so if you have a Halloween costume that you haven't finished yet, get it finished, put up some photos with the hashtag Critical Costumes on Twitter. We will be judging those in the coming week and getting you guys prizes and awards and all the silliness that we can try and produce for you because we're excited.
So many good things.
So many good things already out there. You guys have been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Wow.
really fun ones.
Can
Well-
I enter the contest as this?
I believe you already have. And you can win all of your shirts back.
Oh shit! Then I do not.
Fantastic. Risha, there's the new Signal Boost episode.
Oh, yeah. Both the Signal Boost Halloween episodes are out.
Yay!
And Chalice and I are in them.
Yeah.
And you make a cameo in the latest
A good
episode.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stare
So,
at a mirror.
yeah,
It's fun.
it's
Stare
dumb.
at a mirror.
Yeah.
But go watch for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
correct. Yes.
Guys, what about Vox Machina?
Yes, we are super excited about this one. Starting November 15th and every Tuesday after on Alpha, we will finally get to introduce Vox Machina, which is our Critical Role talk show, hosted by our
Crazy.
amazing friend Brian Wayne Foster. You can follow him at Brian Wayne Foster something.
It's like at Brian W. Foster.
At Brian
Oh,
W.
that's what
Foster.
it is, yeah.
I think that's
On
it.
Twitter's and
And you can also catch the Vox Machina page on Twitter at Vox Machina. You can also get early access if you go to alphainvite.com for early access to the page. We're going to be on there. It's our chance to give like insight after the game. It'll be a weekly thing so we can answer questions that people might have, talk about moments that happened, how it went well, how it didn't, how we suck. There'll always be a few of us on there every week. We might even have some guests and some segments. It's going to be awesome. It's something we've been wanting to do for a while, so
Yeah,
we're really,
and
really...
Brian's a really awesome guy, so we're excited about
yeah,
it.
we're
Yeah.
really looking
You
forward
guys
to
are gonna love him.
Yeah.
He's great.
Brian is awesome.
Yeah.
I want my gun back.
Oh, you want-
I want my. It's my gun. it's not your gun.
All right,
tonight.
now looking at this, that's all the major business announcements. The final announcement, those who are paying attention to social media.
Oh.
Yeah, take your glove off.
Oh,
Yeah, take it off. Take that glove
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
that
we're doing that.
hand, man.
That's no fake hand.
That ring better be there if you lost
That's a
He
fake-
put a ring on it.
Applause!
I have that to look forward to in my later years.
So excited.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Congratulations.
I mean,
Thank you, guys.
he doesn't have to take it off.
Guys,
You get a preview. You can wake up in
Only
the morning.
parts of it.
guys,
Take it off tomorrow.
are we gonna do a Critical Role themed wedding?
Oh, my God.
No.
No, that's not going to be a thing. So we have already signed our cake. But anyway,
Although I still might have Travis Willingham as my flower
Flower girl.
girl doing with the duster chase.
Respect,
Oh
respect.
my God.
I
Good.
would be honored.
Perfection.
Yeah. Yeah.
all
I'll
right.
start with writing
My form.
my best man speech.
Yeah.
It'll be a song.
All the limericks in one.
Delivered in tiger.
Yeah,
Kangaroo.
tiger makeup.
No, a tiger outfit twice. Two different tigers. All right. On that note, let's go ahead and dive into tonight's episode of Halloween Critical Role. So, as we last left off, our band of adventurers, Vox Machina, were having a conversation. We're in the process of formulating their plan of attack against the Chroma Conclave, a group of chromatic dragons that had banded together and released, banded together under King, a great into massive-sized red dragon that sundered the Taldori countryside and currently sits on the main city of Amon. You have traversed multiple planes. You have traversed multiple of the world and gathered these various artifacts called the Vestiges of Divergence in preparation for this battle, honing your skills. And now you guys, after finally defeating your third member of the Conclave and allying with a fourth, Raishan, you defeated Vorigal, the White Dragon, over in over the ruins of Draconia and Wildmount. And you're now returning after gathering the spoils of the fight, making your way to the next leg of your journey to the very, very fast approaching conflict with the Cinder King himself. And that's where we begin. Last we left off, in the middle of a nearby frozen forest, Percival and Vex, probably a fair distance of time apart. Make your no.
That's later.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
Jump
Matt.
the gun.
Matt, I don't know how we're gonna do this. I gotta look right at you.
Just
for
like
really
look
hard.
directly below. Maybe just stare. Stare at his eyes.
I'm gonna look at the
Just
torch
eyes.
over his right shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's missing so many teeth.
We gotta go shopping or drinking or something. Nothing serious for the love of Sarah Ray.
So, as you guys reconvene towards the Scanlan's magnificent mansion to prepare the next leg of your journey, what do you wish to do?
Wait, we're in the mansion right now?
No. We're at the top of the ravine.
We're
Oh, that's right,
preparing to go to a portal.
Correct, you guys. All right, so you've gathered to go ahead and make your way.
Did you want to sleep before we went back to Whitestone?
No.
No, we
I can go.
Let's just go back to Whitestone.
Yeah. No. It's been 8 hours. I've done my thing.
Yes, for bringing restoring some of the farmland. Yeah, which as you complete the entirety of the spell, you watch as the rest of the snow melt begins to turn to water and spill off. You see the land itself go more fertile and the crops begin to pop forth, like you'd begin to see when the ritual initiated itself. With the completion of the land cleansed, you are free to go to the next length of your journey.
Sorry.
Stop. I can't make eye contact. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Get there.
I think you look great, Matt.
You look like Doc Brown exploded. I don't know what to do.
Just pat that tuft of hair down.
Okay.
We're good.
Happy Halloween.
30 more minutes and we'll settle down.
Yeah. Do you get immune to it? Sorry.
I would like to set the Deathwalker's ward to Matthew's costume.
All right, you take a short rest.
Thank you.
What is this tab thing coming out of your
All right, so
That's from Vasselheim.
what else do you guys wish to do? What's the next step?
I mean, we gotta go back to Whitestone right
Let's
away.
just head
Yeah,
home.
yeah, we need to go
Is there
back.
anything else to do here? Was there anything to deliver? Any piece of any body to take with us? Anything? We got everything
We
already.
have. We need to deliver Ripley's arm back in
Still.
Ank'Varel.
Okay,
That needs to happen.
sure,
Kashaw's in Vasselheim.
sure.
We need to do something about him.
By now.
He might be back. He might be on his way here with
might be on
a
his way.
terrible.
That
Yeah.
He's a dick. He can take care of himself.
Hopefully, he
He'll
won't
ju-
just
he'll-
lose something on the Ravenites here.
All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
They've been through so much.
I mean, it's really just reconfirming his whole life view, so, you know. Hi.
Hi.
Trope.
All right. Keelan, cast your thing and let's get the
Let's
fuck out of here.
Get on to Whitestone.
Oh,
Get
yes.
on, getting on.
I'm coming, Boo.
As you focus and touch the outside of the tree, you watch as the small, familiar portal begins to tear its way through the outer bark of the nearby trunk. From there, as you reach through the magic creating this portal between you and Whitestone, you hear the voice echo in the distance. I hear you. And thus, the temporary doorway between here and Whitestone is open. The rest of you guys rush through with Kima and Pike in tow, You make your way into Whitestone itself. At this point in time, it looks like it's fairly late in the afternoon. What's this? So day here, what's it? Day, 8 hours evening there. So actually, no, it'd be pretty early morning by here.
Yep.
So yeah, at this point, you step out and the sky is just starting to come to light. You see the blue slowly transitioning into a light orange to a yellow as the sunrise is making its way over the mountain range that surrounds the outside of Whitestone. You are met with a few wandering guards that just wander through the town that acknowledge your presence, but it is your call as to what you wish to do now.
Does the town look like it's safe and intact?
It seems like it hasn't suffered any sort of incursion or attack, yeah.
We've only been gone for, 24 hours?
No, like 2 days.
2
because we
days.
slept there.
About 2 days.
I'm gonna go check in and see if I can find cash.
Also going to head towards the castle. And we should drop off some of our spoils.
Our loot.
Yes.
Where do we drop them off at?
Castle?
I would imagine the treasury room of some kind, where it can be.
There is a treasure vault, yeah, within the Whitestone Castle.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Let's go there.
Totally knew about that place.
All right. Pike's just going to go and check in with the temple and to make sure everything there is taken care of and situated. Kima leads with you guys towards the Whitestone Castle. As you make your way up, you get to the very outside of the castle. At the time the sunrise finally breaks the mountain range and you see the sun coming in. What little bit of mist begins to slowly burn off in the surrounding forested area. The cold, kind of brisk morning air is, immediately met with that kind of that warmth ray of sun hitting you. And it's welcoming, both to be returning to a place of comfort, but also the transition into day itself is a very warm and welcoming experience. As you step towards the front, there are about 4 guards at the front gate. They step aside to let you in. As you step into the main foyer of the area, you already see a familiar sight. You see there waiting, arms crossed, leaning against the wall, Sikara Sun.
Scars still on the face?
Yeah, still
Okay.
still acid pocked scar across the right side, ruining the tattooed face. The much of the castle seems relatively quiet at this time, as it is very early.
She's the only one. He's the only one there.
Within the actual foyer of the castle, yes, the main entrance area. As you guys begin to step inside, Sikara Sum steps in your direction. Steps in your direction, and Kima at this point is already kind of taking a brisk walk in that direction and goes, pointing outward towards Sikara Sum. Now,
I just grab Kima by the wrist. Just... not right now, maybe.
You told me you had already conveyed with a creature.
At which point, Sikara Sum's hand rests on Kima's shoulder. Kima's head whips around to face Sum, and Sum says, "You need not worry."
Just gonna try it. Hang on.
She hates that.
She doesn't like it.
Oh no.
He's going through the sheets.
Oh no.
Kima's eyes blink for a moment.
Oh,
she
fuck.
kinda...
No. I still have my hands on Kima, right?
Yeah.
I counter with a 6 level Dispel Magic.
Jesus.
Can I do that?
You can certainly try.
Fuck.
All right, so as you begin to...
Oh no, we're gonna start a fight. That's gonna start a fight.
I
Hold
just
on.
don't want her to fucking cast any shit on Kima.
What if it was just a chill out spell?
It was
It's probably a
it was
charm
it was a
spell.
memory spell, maybe.
Yeah.
Spell?
Probably.
No, I don't want to fucking.
It's not a counter spell, but you can try to cast it on her to see if it has any effect.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, the DC with the spell. Okay. So, as you pull back and begin chanting to yourself, kind of clutching Kima and pulling her away from Sum's grip leaves Kima's shoulder, and Kima's still kind of shaking her head, kind of groggily. You finish the dispel magic, and you feel the strange warm pulse of energy kind of radiate briefly out from Kima's body. Kima turns to look at you and goes, why would... I'm sorry, I was kind of groggy there for a second. We've had a long day. Good to see you, Asum. That's good. And some nods and says, well, the pleasure is mine. Glad to see you all made it back safe and sound.
Yes, we did.
You
Thank
as
you
well.
So, we have a meeting set here in the next 2 hours to gather our information and best situate the next plan of action. You also have a friend waiting for you. Your armored Kashar returned but a half day ago, apparently. Sleeping at the moment. Should you be interested in waking him from his slumber and notifying him of his, well, his service is no longer being needed.
Did he return alone?
He did, and rather proud with his findings.
Oh, shit. Where are you off to now?
Oh, I'm here waiting for the meeting.
Lovely.
And who all is going to be a part of this meeting?
As far as I know, it's going to be myself, Cassandra, Allura, and Drake.
Oh, good. Alora, we haven't seen her in forever. Have we?
saw
We
her
did.
pretty
Shit.
recent.
Yes, we
Couple
did. Never
days
mind.
All right. Well, then, until the meeting?
Until the meeting. Now, food should be ready. And Asum steps out into the sunshine and kind of closes his eyes, takes a deep breath as the sun ray hits, and looks over his shoulder, smiles, and continues to walk down the path in towards Whitestone itself.
Kill her right here, right now.
Kima kind of takes a couple steps and says, wow, I'm more tired than I expected after that fight. Then again, we did kill a dragon, and that is fantastic!
We did, yeah. And you
Neither
got
is
a
the
brilliant new sword.
Which she pulls out and kind of you can see the arc of light kind of streak across the blade as she flings it in the air with incredible strength for a halfling of her size. She kind of still marveled by it. You know what? I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to go practice. And she goes and runs off down one of the hallways towards one of the castles.
Wait, Kima. You don't, hear anything when you use that, do you? Like voices, or, like someone talking to you, or...
She holds the blade up to her ear. No.
No, good. It's a beginner problem, but you're all quite advanced. Not worried about it. Enjoy.
Thanks, Rock. Slaps you on the shoulder with like an awkward glance and continues the excited steps forward into vanishing somewhere into the castle.
The sword is clean.
Good job.
Yeah. Dodged a bullet on that one.
We should put that hide in the treasury.
Hide?
The 140 pounds of dragon hide you're carrying right now?
Oh, right. I'm dragging it like on behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Like a body in a carpet.
Well, I'm off to deposit this hide.
Good object work.
Yeah. Boy, I need to switch shoulders. Whoa! Getting a little raw and a little righty there.
Keyleth grabs Vax as they kind of wander off and pulls them behind the rest of the crowd.
Okay.
Let's go.
Where?
Let's track Raishan.
All right.
Let's track her. Let's just do it. Let's just do it right now. Let's kill her. We can do it. She won't expect it. We can find her.
Pull her further away. She won't expect it, but she is a fucking ancient being.
But she's sick, and we can do it right now. Come on.
Keyleth.
When she's unarmed.
Keyleth, I want to kill a dragon as much as you do.
It's not about killing a dragon. It's about killing her.
I know. But we want it to work. We want her to die. And if you and I do it, it's not going to happen. Her being sick is still up here. We need the others. We need the... I really want to use both my arms to take her, but I can't. Take her by the arms. We need the others. If I thought we could do it, listen to me. I love you, and if you ask me again, I will go with you, but I don't think it will work. I think you and I will die. I think Raishan will spit on our bodies. You will not get what you want. And then Thordak won't die. No one will be happy. I I understand.
I just want this to be over.
I want this to be over.
Okay.
We need to stay with the others. This.
Okay. Okay. I'm deciding.
Listen to me. If you tell me to go in, I will go in. But, you know, there's strength with the others. After this, if you tell me to go in, you say the word. It's not like I haven't tried to throw my life away already. You think I wouldn't do it for you?
I just feel like it's very telling when Grog has more patience than I. Okay.
Hey. It'll happen.
I just don't want to wait so long that she gets the upper hand on us. The longer we wait, the more she learns about us, the more we're letting her in, the more we're revealing. I feel like the longer we wait, the closer is her inevitable betrayal.
Pulls her in and just touch foreheads, and I don't think we're going to be waiting for long. I really don't.
Okay. Let's catch up with the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, the rest of you, what have you been up to?
I pull
Well,
Percy aside and say, "We can kill her right now."
It's a tiger! Well,
Oh, we got to go to the treasury.
we have to go to the treasury.
Yes.
And then what? Should we check in with? Who do we need to check in with? Everyone, right? Gilmore and Cash and.
We've got a couple hours.
We have a couple hours. We need to talk to people. We need to find out where this meeting is being held. If it's being held downstairs or if it's being
It
held in the
won't be
battle
if
room.
Assume has anything to say about it.
Well, maybe he won't.
And what is this meeting? I know that we have to have a conversation with Assume.
Yeah, but what is this about?
This meeting may be the beginning of something very violent, or this may be the start of something. I don't know, but be prepared. Perhaps that this meeting may be our moment. Don't think about it. Don't plan. Don't have any thoughts in your head.
Improvise. We're
You
good at
can't
that.
lie about anything. Do not lie to her about anything. And one of the ways we can lie best is by truthfully saying we have no plans against her right now. Because we have no plans against her right now. The more we talk, the more she will be able to perceive our deceptions, if we have any. Be very careful. This is going to be very dangerous. There's going to be a lot of improvisation.
I just hate knowing that she's going to be able to hear all of our plans.
Honestly, we should have assumed that they could hear all of our plans from the beginning.
Yes.
My fault, really? Well, we are very good at being spied on.
Yes, well, we like to talk.
And even if we do, even if we were to get rid of her, there's no sense in believing that they still don't know everything we're doing.
All right. Well, then we'll just see what he proposes and take it from there.
And let's hope that we're downstairs. And if we're not downstairs, well, there's still options.
All right.
Grog, you finally caught up with the group. You managed to drop off your large amount of dragon hide in return.
Holy shit, that skin weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm strong as fuck. What a mess.
Is there a coldy place in the treasure? Wait, this hide is going to be cured or smoked or something?
It's got
whatever
scales
you
all
do.
over it. I mean,
Stretched.
That stays, right? It doesn't have to be kept cold.
I mean, it probably should be.
Kept cold.
Well, probably should be tended to in a short amount of time, like in the next week or so. Before
Would it be
it's
an
really...
armorer or a blacksmith or who works
What's
with
the old
dragon
Taliesin?
hide?
What's the old-fashioned word for the guy who does the hide stuff?
A leatherer?
A tanner. Thank you.
Is there a tanner in Whitestone?
One would assume we have a tanner.
There are
yes.
a few tanners, yeah.
Is
Then
it
let's-
super cold where I dropped off the hide? Like, is it below ground?
It's below ground. Yeah, it's not
A bit chilly.
comparably. Whitestone in general is a pretty chilly place, so yeah.
But not like a fake bake. We want a real tanner, right?
Hey, while they're talking about all this, can I stealth away?
Yes, you can. Make a stealth check.
I'll use luck. 28.
What's up?
28.
28. Okay. Yeah, you vanish seemingly without anybody else noticing your disappearance.
I would like to go as quickly as I can towards Gilmore's house.
Okay.
He's cheating on you, Caleb.
Right, so did we...
Look,
are
it's
we-
2016.
Did we decide what we do about right?
Seeker assumed.
Yeah.
We're going to talk, we're going to listen, and we're going to be prepared for anything.
Okay, so we're not...
Not just yet.
Talk, we're going to listen, we're going to be prepared for anything.
Was that last sound the sound of Seeker assumes bowels
It's open to interpretation.
after he dies?
Yeah.
Just sort of letting
That's
it
what
all
I'd be
out.
fancying.
All right, great.
I lean that way, but, you know, I don't like to speak for other people.
The work speaks for itself, really.
Fair enough. Bax, as you rush down towards the homestead that Gilmore had made here in Whitestone. Doors closed. There's a large pile out front of what looks to be ruined furniture that's just been kind of jammed into this collection. Presumably from the last encounter they had when the incursion of assassins made their way in. But the door's closed and seemingly locked. A few moments pass, no response.
That's him. That's magic. One more
But
time.
you find a gold coin. Yeah. Eventually you hear a little bit of rustling and you hear a voice muffled from a upper floor say, "Confound it, I'll be right down."
I'm so scared of this with that hair on your head.
Yeah.
You hear some footsteps, and then eventually the door kind of, you hear the unlocking mechanism, and the door swings open a little bit, and you see morning robe, kind of, chest open, curly chest hair kind of poking out, a very groggy kind of bedhead, Gilmore. Was the door? Yes, can I help? Oh, good morning.
I don't know what to do.
Why did I do this
I don't
tonight?
know why.
Hey, this is not fair. Can I come in to talk? Quickly, I have to head back to the others.
Would you like some tea? It's,
No, I don't even have time. I just want to talk to you.
I'd like some tea. Come on in. Come on
Alright.
in. Kind of ushers you to enter and gives you to one of the small chairs, and he kind of walks back into the kitchen while kind of shouting over his shoulder. So, Axeldon, please, tell me what's on your mind.
We're getting closer to the end game here.
I certainly hope so. It's taken a couple years off my lifespan.
We just killed another one of the dragons.
Really?
Yeah,
How many is that now for you? 3?
it is 3.
You're making a name for yourself. I'm proud of you. A few moments pass, and silence, and Gilmore walks back out, clutching what looks to be a small tray with a few teacups. And as he's walking, he's kind of twirling his finger, and you can see a little spiral flame kind of encircling the tea kettle as it begins to heat up. As he brings it over and sets it down on the table, kind of pulls his robe in and sits down across from you on this kind of low-slung tea table, and takes a bit and sips it. Yes. So, what brings you here this early in the morning, friend?
I think I might be dead in a couple of days. So, I came here to apologize. If you think I have no feelings for you, you're kidding yourself. I care for you very deeply. I have for a long time. And I don't think I've treated you fairly. But I wasn't playing games. Sean, it's been a little weird lately, and I understand why, but I want you to know that I love you. is a dear, dear friend, and I really don't think I'm going to be here in a few days, and I would hate to think that I would be...
That's far too fatalistic from the Baxadan that I know. Number one. Number two, you have nothing to apologize for. Look, everything's on fire around us all the time. We all jump at whatever a little bit of comfort finds its way before us. And at the same time, I appreciate your honesty. And I'm thankful for the connection that we do have. And yes, heartbreak comes where heartbreak goes. It's a part of life. It just means that I need to find somebody who's a little more, my speed.
That guy will be fast.
You better be. Don't worry about it. Go. Kill a dragon. Another. Kill 2 more. Kill 6 more. I don't care. Just know that you're coming back. Because I need you and your friends to keep pimping out my name.
Sure. Whoever gets you will be a very lucky man.
I know. I know.
I love you.
I know. You sure don't want any tea?
I'm really nauseous right now. I almost didn't come here.
I'm glad you did. He takes your cup. Waste not, want not. Now go. Stop being uncomfortable in front of me. I need to get my morning
Yes.
situated.
Goodbye.
He just kind of stands there. Waves his hand and the door opens on its own.
I leave.
He takes you by the shoulder real fast before he even turns you around and just goes, "Till next time." Say it.
Till next time.
All right. Go. You feel a little pat on your backside on the way out. He's just gonna sit there holding his tea, watching you leave, and door slams behind you. Make your way back.
I'm sorry I made you do that in that skullcap mat.
Look, I don't have to look at this. So
I was
I'm
gonna say,
fine.
he has to wear it. We're the ones who have to look at it.
From my perspective, this is easy.
All I saw was a very handsome man.
This is all training. It's
Yeah.
training in 1,000 times
That's right.
gravity. It's amazing.
It totally is.
So incredible.
Performing arts with the weights on.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since the 80s and 90s, man.
We need to find Kashaw
Yeah, I set off
before the meeting. Yeah, I
to
go
find
too.
Kashaw and Vex.
All right. Asking around quickly, he is back in the room where he's been staying in Whitestone. You go back to his door. It's closed.
Kash,
Nothing.
are you sleeping?
No.
Break down the door.
Yeah, no. I'm
Cash,
gonna jiggle the lock. Is it locked?
It's not locked.
I open it. Just a
Okay.
crack and look in.
Okay.
I hope you're not naked.
As you open it up, there's no light on the inside, but the light that does come in as you kind of slowly open the door. You can see he's halfway out of his armor and
Oh.
is passed out, like on his back on the bed, like just like one arm out, just snoring loudly, like he was too tired to make it all the way, and just.
Should we let him sleep, or should we talk to him?
I don't know.
He snores.
Wow.
You know, my brother doesn't snore.
No, I know.
Ew.
No, I mean I don't.
No,
not
just
that
don't. Just never
Don't worry
mind.
about it.
I love you, Travis.
Um,
I thought I'd be the one to fuck up.
stones, any like rocks or anything in my bag?
Wait,
maybe
you're
like
gonna
some-
throw a rock at him?
Yeah, just to see if he wakes up.
We can't just poke him? That seems so weird.
You're an archer. You can.
Well, I don't want to kill him.
You could put it
Why
up
don't
his
we
nose
just
if you
tap
want
on his
It's true.
shoulder?
I'll sneak in tap his shoulder, come back out, see if he wakes up.
Oh, that's not
I
a bad
don't want
idea.
him to know that, you know. That we're here.
that we did that?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll stand on
can
the outside and
okay.
look unsuspecting.
I want to sneak in and just tickle his little foot and then walk out.
Oh,
Really
well,
fast.
he still has his boots on.
Shit.
It's more of like his upper torso. He got part way out and then passed out.
I tickle his hand.
Okay, so you go
Yeah.
bring tickle hand.
Tickle his hand and then go back really fast to the doorway.
Okay. You tickle his hand. No response.
Fucking. I flick his nose.
As soon as you flick his nose and you start to back away, there's a blur of motion and suddenly he comes leaping out of the bed, grabs over and grabs his spear. His hand reaches for nothing in the air and slings it forward in your direction, just bypassing your face by a few inches. And he looks still halfway going,
Oh, Cash. Oh, hi. Fancy meeting you here. Shit.
yeah, it's my room.
I keep doing that. I keep doing that.
It's awkward.
Oh.
Hi.
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 Oh my
He throws his
gosh,
spear
you're
to the
awake.
side.
Oh, good. I was wondering if.
Yeah, I hope we didn't. I hope you weren't sleeping.
I hope I wasn't either. Sure. All right. I'm glad you're here because
Yeah.
it took me a long ass time to get here. And he kind of sits up in the bed and, sits down back on the bed and reaches over and pulls up one of his packs and brings out a couple of rolls. Just, okay. So, I talked to Vanessa.
Yeah.
I got 2 contracts here that we can take up for this.
Okay.
Got one here, and he pulls it out. He's like, "This is for 2 indigenous creatures to the region that you're talking about over by a Wildmouth. One is a purple worm matron.
Ooh, that sounds big.
Supposedly, shit's dangerous.
Yeah.
Careful. This one is for storm giant. This one's a little harder to get a hold of. Apparently, they tend to.
They're so
Live
hard to
up
get. You
there,
know what? We
but-
should probably focus on the other one. Unless Vorgol's already dead.
Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be crazy.
If he
and
just
then-
was.
What do we do with his contracts if he is? Just wondering about that.
Get out of my room.
Cash.
Just get out.
Cash.
Get out of my room.
Look.
Your help has been.
Not
Out
overlooked at all.
Of
We should
my
probably
room.
go.
We should probably go.
Do you want these back?
Out
do
of
you
my
want...
room.
I'm just gonna set them down
Out
on
of
the
my
ground.
You know, we
I'm
could.
out.
Get out of my room.
By the way, you might want to get like a mouth guard or something because you snore a little.
You leave him in silence and darkness. Out of my room!
Keyleth, we should go.
Okay. We'll see you later.
Keyleth,
What?
come here.
Okay.
And I take her around a corner.
Cash?
No! God, no!
What? Now?
Percival!
Did I miss him?
No!
What? Percy? Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh. That's
Is that
good.
all right? I mean, I know you guys are like
No.
pretty close, and
I
don't know if that's weird.
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. You're like his sister. Kind
He's
of.
not my twin brother.
No, I know. This is true. How are things with you and Vax? Thanks for bringing it up. Is it good?
I still worry if you care.
I care, of course I care, dear.
Yeah, you know, you say that.
I just hug her. No, yeah. And listen, okay.
Oh, sorry, that happens a lot. I'm very happy for you.
Hey, thanks. We should go look at the treasury.
Okay, let's go to the treasury. Yeah, we should go victory shopping.
Oh my god. Yeah. Do you think he'd mind if we just...
Like,
I mean, we have
No.
so much money, we don't even need to do that.
I mean, it's basically our money, though, right?
Yeah. No,
So,
kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so you guys wander your way up.
You know, Vex, I feel like you might be a bad or a good influence on me. I'm not sure, but I like it.
It's all good.
Okay.
Scanlan, Grog, Percival, what are you guys doing?
Life is failing the Becknell
I
test so
mean-
hard right now.
What do we need?
So bad.
Sorry. Carry on.
Sometimes they do talk about boys.
Doing.
I mean, look,
They are like 50% of.
I had no, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Carry on.
Right? We don't really need to like check in with anything.
Give me. Do you have the gold?
Well, I mean, yeah.
We should probably divvy it up, don't you think?
No.
But it's really a lot to hold on to your person. I mean,
No,
there's a
but we
bag
should
of the
all
holding.
replenish our personal
You can have some
amounts.
pocket money, but
Yeah, how
Yes,
much
yeah.
do you want? You don't have
You
it.
know,
I'll have it.
5,000. We have hundreds.
You want 5,000? Do you have good
silver
credit?
pieces.
Do I have good credit?
Yeah.
I have never misspent a single coin.
Can I have your last 4 pay stubs, please?
Here's 2 of them right here.
Hey, that's good enough for 5,000 gold.
And Squirrel gives you 5,000 gold, which weighs roughly 100 pounds.
Shit.
It weighs more than you do.
5,000
And it's
gold
probably
is-
about 1,000 because I can't
Nah.
count 5,000.
Yeah, you just keep. He just starts divvying it out until it's like larger than you in a pile in the center.
Well, what are you
of
going to
the
do
chest.
with
All right. I'm gonna give some back.
Are you really?
Why don't you give me 10 platinum?
No,
What,
absolutely.
that's the same. It's the same.
Oh,
10 platinum?
10 platinum is an awful
Well, he
lot.
can carry 10. That's easier.
Sure.
Hold on, let me consult Blackstone.
10 or 10,000?
Don't do it.
Yep. Stone Black
You're with
says
us. You're with
it's
us.
all right.
I am.
You
I'll
are.
take the gold, I'll put it back in, and I'll give him 10 platinum,
All
which
right,
is
so you have
actually
10 platinum.
6.
So you get 6 platinum from Grog, which is roughly 60 gold.
1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 40, 10.
That's it?
Yep.
Excellent.
And give me 500 gold as well.
No.
Of course, I need money.
It's really heavy. How about I'll give you like 20 more platinum?
Great. That
Okay,
sounds good.
and I'll give him 4 more.
Oh, God.
Give me 50 more platinum.
50?
Yes.
Great, I'll give you 1 more.
Thank you. Got 11 platinum.
Perfect.
I'm going to try and find Allura. I'm going to leave them to their madness. I'm going to try and find Allura and Cassandra, or anybody I can find in the castle at this point.
Okay. As you walk around, nobody else who's supposed to be at the meeting has gathered yet.
All right.
However, Cassandra is awake and in the process of going through some papers, and she has her personal guard at her side and 2 guards at the door, and you can see she's kind of just getting herself prepared for the meeting. As you enter the room, the door partially ajar, you can see her still down there. She's currently thumbing through notes. Her hair's still kind of in disarray and pulled back haphazardly. She's wearing her morning gown, and without even looking up, she goes, "Percival, glad you arrived, and still in one piece."
Yes, and down one dragon.
I have to tell you, I'm very impressed.
Thank you. 2 more to go. It's going to get a little heavier at this point.
Indeed, that's largely what our meeting is about.
What was that again?
Sorry, I need to go fire some of my guards. They're making a nuisance. Continue, please.
2 more to go. I fear that it is possible that Whitestone itself may eventually be the target of an attack. I feel it may be inevitable.
That is actually what our meeting is about. Prevent that from happening.
Just quickly to check. I would know what languages Cassandra spoke, correct?
She would speak, what languages do you know?
Elven, Celestial, Common.
She knows Elven and Common, she does not know Celestial.
Okay.
That was more of your hobby.
I figured that was kind of my guess. I just wanted to confirm. I hand her a small slip of paper that I've written in Elven. Be prepared for anything today. Keep silent.
She gives you a very keen look, and you can see Cassandra. As much as she is the healthiest you've seen her physically, her eyes have dark circles over them. It looks like she's been very harried by just the events of these past few weeks, understandably so. But she takes and looks over the sheet and goes, "Well, very well. Should be an interesting meeting then."
I think so. I do think so. It's good to see you taking command.
It's good to see you, and I look forward to you sharing some of the burden soon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, quite possibly.
Right?
We will discuss once the dragons are taken care of.
Good.
We will discuss at the very least relieving you of some of this burden.
Good.
I know it is not fair.
Whatever is fair in this life, eh? The wonders of lordship and ladydom.
I'm gonna run off and try to find Jarrett.
Do you wish to come? Anything else you want to carry on this conversation?
No, I'm fine with that. I'm just my last thing is I'm just going to quickly run and have a quick conversation privately with I assume we have some sort of royal jeweler of some kind, or somebody who does some of the ornamental work for the.
No one who lives on site per se, but there are two individuals that your family generally used for various forms of jewel craft.
I'm just going to write and send a letter off for that.
Okay, no worries. Scanlan, what are you gonna do? Looking for Jared?
Just looking for Jared.
Okay. You head outside of the main castle down to where the training barracks are for Whitestone, and you can see Jared's already out there with a small kind of metallic platter on his lap, just scarfing up some food real fast. He's gotten his day started relatively early, and as soon as you approach, his mouth's already full. Scanlan, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. What are you enjoying there?
The usual gruel that you find in this city.
Oh, I thought might be something that meat-based that you could have popped up a bit with your spice.
Oh, well, trust me, I've used it on the eggs, and it makes it bearable. This Iceland is not known for its cuisine, from what I can tell. Everything's gray and lacks flavor.
I'll invite you over to my house sometime. Give you a proper chicken dinner.
All right, I will happily take you up on that offer. Thank you.
Just wanted to check in on the task we talked about.
The task?
You know, the mission we discussed.
Remind me again?
I don't want to talk about it out in the open. But you know, there was some illicit...
Oh!
Items of medicine.
Yes, I sent a request through someone I know.
Sent a request? You're using other people? I thought I trust you. I don't trust other people.
I'm not going to leave the city right now to go find... Look, I have two people I know that might be able to get what you need, but it's going to take time.
I don't have time.
When did you pick up this habit?
I'm worried about you now. I'm trying to pick it up. Damn it! It's the most difficult habit to pick up. Listen, can I just confide in you, man to man, one-on-one here?
Certainly.
You're a fighter. You're a strapping young battle man, aren't you?
I have been told this once or twice, yes.
I just haven't felt myself recently. You know, we have these fights, and some of them are pretty epic, and there's monsters involved, and I'm usually on my game, but lately I'm just feeling a little off. How do you cope with that?
Well, largely by not using illicit substances.
Oh, don't judge. Don't judge.
I'm not judging. I'm just worried about you. Like, if you don't even have a habit, why would you look for this? The Scanlan I knew, the one that hired me, he knew how to deal with this issue. He got laid.
I don't really do that much anymore.
Maybe that's why you're not feeling up to the task.
That is a very fair point, Jared.
I'm just saying. Look, and I do not mean to talk it up Turney, such as his meal aside, but you are a man who walks driven by his pelvis. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Then what happens if the pelvis goes, unused, grows bashful?
Preach.
Like a fine instrument, it can go untuned.
If you leave a fine violin without playing it for many years, it could wither and rot until you need to replace some of the parts. In a way, the same is true for my member. But the problem here, Jarek, is that I'm distracted. I'm distracted by things that haven't ever distracted me before. I've made a promise to someone to stay alive. I've never valued my own life before, and when we get into the shit, I'm second-guessing things. I'm making stupid decisions that I wouldn't have otherwise made.
Because suddenly you have purpose.
Exactly.
Because you have a reason to come back.
Yes.
That's not a bad thing, though.
I just don't know how to harness that kind of stress.
Do you have a keepsake of this reason to return? This person you made a promise to?
Do I have a keepsake? I don't think so. No?
Then you need to get yourself a keepsake.
Well, she's not around right now to get a keepsake from.
Then something else that reminds you of her. Something you could look at in that moment where you're not so sure.
How did you get so wise, Jared?
Drink a lot, listen to people talk. There are none wiser than barkeeps, my friend, and I have been friends with many a barkeep.
These are all good suggestions. But I'm a man of instinct, and my instinct said that I needed to supplement my body with some extra liquid courage. So, if you can please continue to look for me.
I will continue searching and providing what you require.
I've just heard that it can help people in moments of panic and stress.
And I've watched it ruin lives near Katala Swamp.
I can handle it. I can handle a lot of things.
You are a strange, strange gnome.
Takes one to know one?
Does not work in this circumstance, but I applaud your attempt. It was good. It was good. I'll do what I can, but don't forget, you have more than just one reason to stick around.
I know, that's what worries me. I'll think about what you said. Maybe I'll go have a toss and see if that helps too.
Okay. Here, tell you what. Come here.
Yes.
And he sucker punches you in the face. Just you unexpectedly fall back. You feel kind of the pulsing of the blood run to your cheek, and your eyesight goes white for a second. As you step up, he goes, "See, now you have to live to return the favor."
That was clever. I will definitely get you back for that.
Good. I look forward to it.
Watch your back.
I always do.
All right. Get me some drugs.
Awesome. All right, so.
Can I find? It was like daytime, right?
Yeah, it's like early morning, maybe pushing around.
Since everybody's out
9
like,
o'clock.
doing like important shit, is there like a way I can find like a courtyard or like an open air area?
There are a couple of courtyards within the perimeter walls of the castle. Yeah, they have like some small garden elements.
If I get out there, are there like a lot of guards like keeping an eye?
Not within the courtyard, generally, no. Occasionally there'll be one patrolling, but
can I pee in the courtyard?
By all means.
Yeah, I just feel like I really need to like mark the territory. I mean, this is like home for us, right? And I peed all over Grayskull Keep. Like I just left little puddles that y'all didn't know about. It's really important because like other Goliaths come around and like, nope, the wolf's here. I gotta go elsewhere.
I just assumed it was shoddy masonry and everything was leaking.
Nah, stealth room, motherfucker. Wow. Can I take a leap at a wall in the corner?
Yeah, and there are a number of walls to choose from, varying heights, different levels of masonry. Like it is, you have the veritable pick of the litter.
Can I find the highest wall with the most ornate decoration on it? And just go slightly off left, the way we member goes, and just make a little box right there. Just a little waterfall on the white side.
Certainly. You find the portion where the exterior wall has one little parapet joining portion with the exterior of the castle itself. There you can see the masonry is fine. The stones themselves are clean cut and joined properly. There isn't a whole lot in the way of ornate craftsmanship on the exterior of the castle or the walls, but you feel, as far as your interest, Grog, this is a good wall.
It's pretty nice.
And you mark your territory expertly.
And like a wide arcing, not like the one shot, just like a nice upside down frown as I like.
Yeah, like a Cylon I-beam.
That's it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right. You do so with gusto. Congratulations.
Thank you. Home.
Yay!
That's how Grog spells home.
Mm-hmm. Stellar RP.
Hell yeah.
How else do you spell home?
All right. Unless there's anything else needs to be done. Yes.
I'm not done with my errands. Can I go find Kynan?
You can.
Yeah.
Kynan, who is currently under the watch of Jared at the moment.
Yeah.
Is asleep, and you start walking towards that direction as Scanlan is leaving the exterior of the Barrett training ground.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
You look a little rough.
Yeah.
All right?
I'm fine. Just one of our employees punched me in the face.
Which one?
You don't want to know. It wasn't the cooking cook.
You look really tense. You look out of character.
I think he's lying.
Oh dear.
Chill them out of it.
Go head back. We're gonna have that meeting soon. Go get your game face on, yeah?
I will. I'll wash my face and get to it.
All right.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Best I've been in a while.
That's good to hear. It's been a while since we've had one of our depressing chats. You seem a little bit more chipper these days.
Yeah, I feel
Coming
that way.
around to my perspective, are you?
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Seems full of shit to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna use luck. I got it.
That's your second luck.
Who cares? This is a game. I'm with my friends. I'm having fun. That is an 18.
18.
Yeah.
Are you deceiving him in any way?
No, not at
No.
all.
So yeah, you feel just
But
Luck
does
for
he
that.
seem confident and happy? Is what I wanted to know.
as much as he would in the given kind of situation.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm in love.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I know the fella?
Yeah. I'll tell you later, all right?
I want to hear details. Dirty, dirty details.
Oh,
Sweaty details.
He is so hung.
Yeah?
Unbelievable.
TikTok.
Yeah.
We're guys.
Like an
I'll tell you
anaconda.
later. I gotta run an errand, but we gotta get to this fucking meeting, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Game face on.
Is this
Game
how they
face on.
like talk themselves up? Like,
Yeah, don't women just talk about their vaginas when you're alone?
That's it.
Talking about your goddamn antlers, jeepers. Off I go.
All right.
Locker room talk.
Locker room.
Campaign is over.
no, the game is over.
Whitestone burns in flames. All right, you make your way there.
Yeah.
Jarrett, you see finishing a meal. Looks over to you. There's nobody else in the training area. It's still relatively early, it seems. And you see, actually, you do, with your perception, you do see back on the main stone building, you see a few individuals walking back and forth in front of one of the windows. Looks like things are just kind of starting up over there for the training of the day. Jarrett finishes his meal, scarfs up the last bit of egg on the side of the plate. Hey!
Jarrett.
Yes!
Hey, I don't want to interrupt. Kynan, the new guy.
Yes.
Is he around?
Probably inside sleeping or waking.
It's okay if I go in?
Sure. This way.
Just be a minute.
Yeah, go for it. And he just sits back down. You head inside, and the door is not locked. You open up inside, and you can see 10 different individuals that are all in the process of waking up. There you can smell coffee and very, very basic breakfast meats being cooked. Some of them around tables talking, kind of hunched forward and laughing, and as soon as you walk in, a few of them kind of turn and just look at you. Some don't recognize you, some do. You do see, kind of in the far, far corner, sitting alone at one of the tables, is Kynan, currently just kind of almost prison style, kind of guarding his food and eating on it by himself.
Right towards him. Hey,
Hello?
are you fitting in?
I mean, all right. Everyone here's been fine.
Yeah, you're hanging back.
I mean, as much as I need to. This is still a lot. Jarrett's been good. He's been watching.
He's a good man. Yeah, I get it. We killed another dragon.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't want you to question your decision here. All right?
No. I mean, this is... I don't have anything else right now, really. So, what's the question?
There's no question. But if you could do me... I have two favors I want to ask.
Okay.
The first one is, after I leave here today, could you embrace these people?
Yeah, I'm trying trying.
Yeah, I know. And I know you have reservations, and I know that you have, I know that you got guilt. When I walk out of here, I want you to work on letting go of that.
Okay.
For real. Leap of faith kind of shit. Just let go of it.
I'll do my best.
I know. Scratch that. 3 favors.
Luke's out of the table for a second, seemingly like, oh boy.
Yeah, I know, I'm a handful. The second one, I don't even need you to say anything about this, but, you know the white-haired guy I travel with?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a sister. And, I don't want you to do anything other than keep an eye on her and keep her safe.
Okay.
We're kind of going into the, Lion's Den. Soon, I think. And, you know, we'll probably come out of it. But,
Yeah.
just in case. She's got a lot on her shoulders. You know that. So, just keep an eye on her. That's
Okay.
it. All right?
All right.
And the last thing, you got those knives I gave you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kinda
Yeah, hold on
shows.
to them. I trust you. I need you to watch after one last thing for me, all right? It's very important. I wake up Simon and I let him crawl down my arm. Do you see this guy?
Yeah.
He's been with me through a lot. And I don't want him at the bottom of a ditch.
You sure?
I have never been more sure of anything in my life. I want you to have him, and I want you to take care of him.
It'll be done. I promise.
Kynan, I need you to believe in second chances.
It's all I have keeping me going right now. He kind of reaches his hand up towards the snake. And Simon leaps from your hand to his and kind of swirls down his arm. And he kind of looks confused for a second as it wraps around his waist and then forms into the shape of a belt. You can now see a few other guys in the room. The room's gotten a little quiet. They're all kind of over there watching what's happening. Like, what's going on? He notices the attention. He's like, I'll take good care of it.
I believe it.
I mean, no offense. It's a lot of attention right now. Just
A slap on his cheek. Remember everything I said, all right?
yeah. I will.
You're a good kid. Whack.
Same temple.
I'll see you later, all right?
Yeah. Definitely. You head up. Okay. At this point in time, a number of pages have been sent throughout the city to gather those who've been wandering about Whitestone as you were being called to the meeting in the second floor war room within the castle itself.
Second floor?
Mm-hmm. The same one where you met earlier with
yeah.
That'll
Oh, yeah.
do. Alright.
You ready for anything?
Let's go Krogering. Best of everything.
Before we walk in,
Mm-hmm.
I grab Grog. How do you do it?
Do what?
You're you're able to utilize your rage when necessary, how do you keep it suppressed when it's not needed?
Ah. A good question.
Please enlighten me, Professor Grog.
Right, it all comes down to one word, really.
Yeah?
Family. Right, before I was a part of this group, I had no family. Pike took me in, I met all of you, and I had a purpose.
Yeah.
So before that, like, I would be down to fuck anything up at any time, no problem.
Sure.
I still kinda am.
Yeah.
But I realise that if I fly off the handle too soon, it screws over my family. And that's no good, because I care about you. Most of you. So for me, you're gonna get yours. It's coming. And I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna high-five you when it's done. But until then, you keep that shit tucked inside. Let it build. And then when the time is right, you let her have it. And I'll throw you into the fray when the time is right.
Promise?
Yeah, I'll promise.
Deal.
Deal.
Grog,
shit, sorry,
Grog,
I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
She should
Bruises, right?
really take 1 hit point of damage.
Sure, you take a hit point of damage.
No, man,
Matt.
welcome.
we're gonna ask questions about that later.
No, it's cool. You make up a really good story.
Sure.
nut.
Yeah.
But listen, if at any time it gets to be too much, you just go. We got you.
Okay. I don't want to let you guys down.
You
I
won't.
won't. Thanks, Grog. Okay, let's do this.
All right, as you guys enter the war room, same as it was previously left. However, you are brought with the image of around the table in early morning, Allura, Gilmore, surprisingly, Drake, Thunderbrand, and Cassandra, as well as Assume, who's kind of standing behind most of them, towards leaning back to the window. They all kind of, in the middle conversation, turn and smile as you begin to walk in. You can see Gilmore kind of nods to everybody, gives an extra smile to you, Vax. Cassandra is just kind of waiting for the pleasantries to end. Allura comes up and kind of takes your hand. Each of you. It's wonderful to see that you've returned safely. I've had many terrible thoughts that perhaps this meeting would not be as positive. I'm very glad to know that I was wrong. And that you brought Kima back to us as well. Pike is safe as well, so congratulations, I guess, are in order. But come, sit. These circumstances do press our timeline a bit. And you see there have been a number of other chairs already brought into the room, prepared for you guys to sit around together.
Is there anyone sitting next to Raishan?
No, actually. Raishan
I
is...
sit next to Raishan.
Raishan is not sitting. Raishan is kind of standing, arms crossed, leaning against the window.
I want to stay standing as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
I move and migrate close to Raishan.
Okay, as you approach, you can see Asum's eyes kind of watch you, a small grin on the face, and a little bit of a nod.
I give a nod back.
Mm-hmm.
I pull a chair out for Assume, and I'm going to sit next. I'm going to offer him the chair and sit, and pull one out next to him for myself.
Assume. At which point Cassandra gathers all your attention in the midst of this chaos. So, the excursion to Wildmount went well. As far as I understand, you are now one more dragon slaying into this chaotic endeavor. So, well done. Tell me, how did this happen?
A deal was made with the locals. We brought the dragon to an appointed kill point, to a kill spot outside of the city. We summoned a creature. We watched
With
them
the
battle.
gate scroll that we showed you, actually.
With the gate scroll. There was a battle, and we felled it. It was more or less how it went down. It was a simple trap. It was elegant, and we barely survived.
I pull out the Spire of Conflux and hand it to her. We retrieved this in our spoils. You may recognize it as one of the vestiges that we spoke of earlier.
Cassandra kind of takes his eye. That looks quite important. Allura.
Yes, I thought I was handing it to Allura. Sorry. That's what
Get
it
your head
remains
out of
for
it.
nervous. Yeah.
Allura, yeah.
You can see how this would be confusing.
Yes.
Nah. Allura
You
takes
look
it.
just like Allura.
Alora, is everything okay? Have you been through some shit?
It's been a rough week.
You can moisturize.
I almost did
really.
Allura too.
That would have been good too.
Next Halloween.
Yeah.
Vax is leaning against the door to this chamber, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
Allura takes it, kind of expects it. This is a magnificent artifact. Well founded. Perhaps we'll take a look at it after the meeting together.
Sure.
Cassandra gets everyone's attention once more and motions to the guards. The door that you're leaning by gets closed as the guards step out, so it's only you guys having this conversation. So, with another of the Conclave fallen, retaliation is imminent. With Thordak already infuriated at the death of Umbrasyl, and we only caught but a glance of that anger, thankfully through the means of which Allura and Gilmore and a few others were able to cloak the city, I do not feel that will last the entirety of the time we would need to take a leisurely stroll through our next series of plans. I fear that less protected cities may be in the path of retaliation before it even finds its way to us. Allura speaks up at this point. Thordak is a creature of infinite pride, and a slight such as this against the Conclave will most likely trigger the destruction of even more innocents, both to satiate his anger, and I'm certain to also draw us out. He is an intelligent one, as is the company he keeps. I've also reached out to other members of the Arcana Pansophical and hope that they will come to our aid, but given the recent death of Voragal, I do not know if they'll arrive in time to be of any assistance. So we have to begin to gather our strengths, our allies. And honestly, I think we need to strike first.
You do.
Well, otherwise we wait for the fight to be on Thordak's turf.
That's unexpected.
Just pop on over to Amon then.
Well, we need a plan first. We need to gather those we've called to arms. We need to assess what strengths we have and utilizing all of these things at our disposal, come up with an idea of how we're going to actually do this. Gilmore steps in and goes, if we are to strike, I agree. It should also be very, very soon. We've pushed the boundaries of being on his peripheral even this long. And you say that he knows your faces, correct?
Yes.
Well, his gaze will now surely fall upon the seven of you at the very least.
It was inevitable.
Assume steps forward at this point from the wall, begins to walk kind of in front of you, Keyleth, in between Percy. The longer he remains as well, the more the landscape of Iman and the surrounding Bladeshimmer shoreline begins to churn. Begins to boil with flame and toxic fume. He is scarring the surrounding land with his claws, his teeth, his flames, his roar, and those that follow in his shadow. His fear-mongering has risen in number under him, and a creature of such pride is eager to show that if you fall in such fear and do as he says, there are rewards. And I'm sure you've come across many weak-willed individuals in your travels that would be eager to jump at the chance of working beneath such a powerful and dangerous creature. Allura steps in at this point now and says, now, I believe it is partially his essence, but the expedited rate of this elemental transition around him is based on the soul anchor that we embedded within him to keep him in the fire elemental plane, this stone that resides at the center of his chest and belly.
I believe the stone is somehow drawing elements of the essence of the fire and elemental plane itself into Iman. I mean, it's not unusual for the presence of a red dragon over hundreds of years to begin to convert the scenery around, but this speed... I can only see a connection between the enchantment we had hoped would hold Thordak at bay and the changes we're seeing in the center of Iman and beyond. Now, it was never intended for him to leave that place, and I feel deeply responsible for many elements of the danger we now see in this world. And I only know that I will do whatever it takes on my end to see that this comes to an end. Whatever sacrifice, whatever is necessary, I am at your disposal. But the responsibility of the destruction is also our own. The longer we take, the more chance he will tear through Kaimal. He will tear through Western. He will tear through Daxio. He will begin to burn everything that Haldore is, until we show our faces.
I am curious what the Master of Secrets thinks. Assume.
Sure, so Assume is still kind of walking in a circle around the table.
What do you propose we do?
Well, before we get to that, let us discuss things we have at our disposal. The information we have. And from that, we can garnish a plan. For I'm master of secrets, I'm not a master of warmongering and attack.
I get up and I walk to the window and I look out the window. We're not going to be safe here for much longer, that much is certain. So we will need to move quickly.
And Drake speaks up the first time and goes,
Not to mention that slippery green Drake is still out there somewhere. We have no idea where it is. There are 2 members of the Conclave remaining.
Well, I mean, out. Right, yeah, 2.
Do you think perhaps it's best to skip one and hope for the element of surprise? Maybe he thinks we're going to finish off his generals before we come to him. It may be a brief moment of surprise, if anything. Maybe he's expecting us to kill one more, not go for the main prize.
He's cut off the head of the king.
Maybe.
So Thordak, from what I understand, is extremely powerful and influential, and that Raishan dragon is a mere pittance in comparison. A small, exponential ant, a pawn, if you will, on the battlefield.
I certainly hope so. And if that's the case, then I think you're right. Go for the king first. But we must do so with eyes all about us, because the last thing we need is to be flanked by that beast in the center of our attack.
Exactly. We don't want to deal with 2 ancient dragons.
Can we lure it somewhere else, perhaps?
If we knew where it fucking was.
Allura speaks up at this point and goes,
Look up. I know that Thordak's hate for me still burns, hence by the reason they went directly for my tower when they first arrived at Iman. The one trump card we do have in this is me.
What, do you want to offer yourself as bait?
If need be. I'm not saying that's the right plan, but I'm saying that is one thing we can perhaps utilize in our plan, in our strategy.
Is his hate for you?
Well,
I think the
Should
main...
help seal him away.
There was a ship in Draconia. Northern ship of some kind. I still feel that there may be some sort of weapon inside it that may prove useful. It was a ship that had been dragged there by the White Dragon. It's been bothering me. And then, of course, we have whatever it is that we have downstairs. I'm not saying that we should use it, but it is powerful.
I don't know how we would use it.
We can't move it, can we?
We can't touch it.
Gilmore pops up again and says, exactly. Been poring over that thing for a number of weeks until we had to build this barrier, and to be brutally honest, I am sick of it.
You've got nothing.
Well, we understand it's a siphon. It's bringing the energy of the Nexus somewhere. We just don't know where the other end of it is. Or if it's even functioning properly.
Elora, do you still feel a connection with the Soul Stone that's inside of Thordak?
Well, I have no personal connection with it. I just know that I was the architect of its enchantment and the ruse of which sealed it within Thordak.
You built it. You must know of some way to disable it.
Or a weakness.
Yeah.
We designed it to have no weakness.
Bummer.
The intent was to keep him there indefinitely. I mean... Perhaps if we could...
What?
Assume, you said you have friends back in Iman still that have been gathering intel. And assumed it. Yes, actually. And I was hoping that, as part of our plan today, we could even go and retrieve some of this information. Perhaps that could teach us more about this soul anchor you continuously talk about.
How can we retrieve this information without going to Iman?
I think he's speaking of going.
Oh, we would have to go to Iman.
That sounds crazy. Is there any way to not do that?
The
Perhaps
Soul
I'll go alone.
Stone. The Soul Stone has been broken and abused before. I have a feeling there's someone who might have an idea on how to disable it.
I really don't. I have no idea.
Well,
Are you sure,
Raishan was
Grog?
the one who busted out Thordak in the first place out of the fire plane. So I would assume that Raishan has some idea on how to...
Oh.
You think?
She lived
I
amongst
feel
my
like
people for
Raishan would
years.
only know how to open up a portal.
I have a lot of feelings about Raishan.
Cassandra speaks up and says, well, you've been abroad. You've been gaining arms and allies, from what you've told me,
Yes.
across Exandria.
Yes.
Let us consolidate our options, our strengths, and plot the downfall of the Conclave best we can.
I'm no master strategist, but we do have allies that we can call upon, and
Yeah.
weapons,
We do.
and men, and arms, and troops. However, taking the fight to Thordak in Amon seems foolhardy at best. Is there, I suppose this is where the intelligence could come into play, but is there some other place where we could go and try to take back from Thordak to lure him away from Iman?
Assume steps in from the conversation and goes, the thing with that plan is Thordak has amassed thousands of lizard folk in Iman at this point that follow his whim. From the nearby mountain ranges, many from the Stormcrest that have worshipped him the entire time that he was gone. Wyvern riders originally aided in taking the city that you met, as did I. But since other allies have found their way to the Cinder King's sway, last that I checked, it seemed that there were a number of allies that he brought over from his time in the Fireplane as well.
What?
Fire giants in the service of the dragon now walk the seats.
So if we go into Iman, we're facing fire giants, lizard people, and that's before we get to Thordak, the Cinder King.
As well as a
How the
landscape
fuck are
that's
we gonna fight him?
slowly being turned into a hellish plane.
That's what we're discussing today.
Does Thordak covet any other territory or city or town, Vasselheim, here, anywhere that we can lure him to?
Anything
away
he
from
has
the city?
nostalgic feelings about.
Anything that would piss him off.
You were lucky to draw a creature of such infinitesimal experience and intelligence as a white dragon away from its home roost. I would be greatly surprised if you would pull a great, powerful, intelligent, ancient red dragon from its home turf advantage.
So your prediction is that we have to slog our way through the outskirts of Amon to fight him on his home turf. Is
That's-
that about the size of it?
That's one way.
What if?
What's another?
Distract his allies and go straight for the heart. You have allies, like Allura just said, all throughout the world.
This is true. We have the herd. We could go get the werewolves.
The Ravenites would help.
Everyone who we ask,
The,
everyone who we send in there, we're sending into their death.
This is war.
Yeah, but it's either death now
sending
or
ourselves
death a little
into
later.
So are we talking about sending everyone we know and everything we have on the
For a full
outskirts
frontal
of town?
attack.
For full, yeah, and there's
While
no
we
way.
bamf into the dragon's lair.
Yeah,
or
we
something.
create a massive fucking clusterfuck on the edge of his periphery and we go for the center.
How long did it take you, Allura, to create that heart?
Well, the design and the development and enchantment of it powerful enough to anchor itself to the soul of a dragon of Thordak's strength. Better part of 6 months.
6 months. We've probably got a week or two.
And that was with a dozen other hands helping me. Because most of the Arcana Pansophical was at my side for that, and we don't have that kind of time.
Well, we take a day or two and we amass every heavy fucking header we have. And we do this. What other choice do we have?
I just keep thinking back to Oman, where we watched half of our friends die in a second.
A lot of us are going to die.
Sandra sits up a little bit in her seat and goes, if we are smart about this, we can minimize the casualties far more now than they would be a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year from now.
I agree.
What of Whitestone? We put the city at great risk. How much risk are we willing to take?
Percy everywhere is at great risk right now.
It's true.
We should leave Whitestone.
But even getting to Amon, aren't we exposing ourselves to detection and attack?
We are.
What are we going to march several armies across the entire
How do we
continent
get
to get there? It'll
armies
take
there?
days.
We're going to take a day or two. We're going to figure out how to get who we have to where we need. We're not doing this tomorrow. In a couple of days, 3 days, 4 days at the most. It's not ideal, but
no.
it's what we have to
We can
do.
at least move people to, what's that town that we
Schenectady?
reestablished?
Outside of Western.
Nutmeg.
There's Western and Kymel are the two where you move.
Western is close-ish, right, to Iman?
They're both. Western's a little bit further than Kymel is. Kymel is where you sent a lot of the Western refugees.
Right.
But they're just
Yeah.
The
towns, though.
shanty, right.
I feel like
But we could at least assemble there from all the different territories and then meet up, form a plan, and then march from there.
we march on Amon.
I got excited.
We gather our forces, Thordak will notice.
Yeah, we've got to do a lot of recon before then. But I think he's got a good point, right? We've got to have like a staging point.
Cassandra looks over to us and goes, recon, actually. Anything else, assume you may have in regards to what we can expect there? Assume they're still kind of slowly walking on the peripheral of the meeting table. I can tell you that most of the city's wealth and resources, as well as caches of sealed arcane relics and weaponry, long held by the Lyceum or the arms of Iman, have been stolen and thrown atop the victory horde of Thordak. Most who are plotting this rebellion within the city are doing so with scraps. That is why the clasp has been so instrumental in the removal of many of the oppressed folk within the city. Also, the fiery marks of Thordak's presence that have drawn fire and molten rock across the city, as well as the outskirts of the city walls, scar the landscape and fill the sky with sulphurous clouds and black smoke. The good news is that smoke can be utilized should someone have some control over the elements to be a screen. However, where the cloud top district once stood, there is now but a heated cauldron of glowing stone and flame. Hundreds of gifts and statues left in Thordak's image litter the outer area, Well, a massive cavern dives beneath the central region of the district. Now, this cavern, as we've watched it, we believe it to be the location of Thordak's treasure hoard, as well as the occasional sleeping place of a massive drake we speak of. Thordak is also showing rather intense signs of physical change since being released from his prison. But his size still remains enormous. By comparison, his eyes now burn with a searing white light. Burning stars in the sky. His jaw ever dribbles of burning liquid that blackens the ground it touches. The gaps between scales appear to flare brightly with each breath, like a star engine beneath the scales.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Do you think it's overtaking him?
I have no idea. Allora? Allora goes. Well, if the anchor was indeed removed from the fire elemental plane, then Thordak would have had his soul torn from his body. That is how the anchor worked.
So you don't think he actually even fully separated from the plane? He just brought the plane with him.
Or at least maybe a piece. I wasn't there. I don't know the ritual that brought him over.
Maybe then we were looking at this the wrong way. Maybe we go at this through the fire plane. Maybe there's something still there.
A way to sever his connection to the
Yeah.
fireplane, maybe.
Allura thinks for a second. Goes,
We've got an easy door in.
you could try, but the enchantment itself, we don't have enough information. It wasn't bound to a specific place in the plane. It was bound to the plane itself. I don't know how you'd sever it from the other side.
From the other side, we'd have to go there.
Yeah.
That's called thinking outside the circle.
But then once we're there, what do we do?
And we don't even know where to look. I mean, we could at least talk to the Ashari there. They might. They know the
Another
fire.
ally.
Is there like nothing friendly in the fire plane?
It's at least as big as Taldore. I mean, it's another dimension.
It's huge.
It's huge, but my people know the whereabouts. There are still locations and destinations within the fire plane. It's navigatable.
Maybe all the evil things in the fire plane are gone right now. They're with Thordak.
Assume kind of steps forward to the table, puts his little halfling hands on the edge and goes, well, it's a shame that we don't have any information about this ritual, that freedom from the plane.
That is a shame.
Yeah, no. If
For
only
real.
we
Shame.
knew the whereabouts.
I'll see if my compatriots can gather information, but in the meantime, we'll do the best we can to gather similar information.
Well, we know we don't have a lot of time, but do we maybe want to table this and think on it?
I would
For a
Well, at the
night.
very least, should we send out some letters just alerting our allies that
Shit's going down.
Shit's going down.
it's time to start stocking up and getting ready to move?
Drake sits forward and goes,
Yes.
I think it's a fine plan of action. Reach out to all those that you've brought in. Hopefully we can get a few of our friends in this as well.
Did an airship ever arrive?
They all kind of look at each other a bit confused.
Airship?
No.
Did anyone see
I
an
didn't see
airship flying
one.
around?
Oh, and Cassandra goes, no, there hasn't been an airship here, no. Are we expecting one?
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
City is invisible, so
Yes,
Yeah.
they won't see us if they come. If we see an airship, do you wish us to flag it down?
That would be good.
You've trusted.
yeah.
Yes.
They are a rarity.
All right.
Maybe come up with a landing point as well.
Now,
What?
Now?
Soon.
We have one other possible option in front of us. Show them the medal.
No, thank you.
You're not going to show them the medal? Not that. No, not that. Please don't whip that out. No, one
No,
wants to see
no,
that.
not the cube.
We have another ally that we have spoken of.
It's tenuous ally at best. Maybe we shouldn't
I
discuss
just
it
think
until
we
we're
probably shouldn't bring that
100%
up.
sure about it.
I just think maybe,
Yeah,
because
that's
we
a
don't
big
know about
maybe.
it. we
That's
just
a
don't
big
know about
maybe.
it.
Yeah.
On the other continent, we were given
Yeah, they're very busy though.
Something
Yeah.
special.
You know, they're
So far
pretty
away.
booked
Yeah,
up.
and it's really far away, and
Yeah.
you know, and then as we were leaving, the people that we talked to about it
It's
were like,
fine, I get it.
I
Just
slowly-
reach out to your people and.
yeah,
Well,
we'll just reach out.
I slowly walk around the table,
Stupid idea.
Just really.
thinking hard about it. And I stab Speaker Assume 3 times in the back with my sword.
Oh shit!
Oh, let's fucking do this shit! Let's do it! Let's do it!
Oh shit!
Do it!
Well, there's
But
the
we need to
bathroom
know the
break.
ritual.
It's too late. He did it.
Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah!
See, no.
Yeah!
Great.
Go ahead and roll.
3%
That's a surprise
of his hit
attack.
points.
I know it
right
is.
there. 3% of his hit points.
God, why? We're in crazy costumes.
Check out the brain on brain.
Well, we've got Alora and Gilmore
It wasn't me.
and Drake.
We
right
have a
now.
lot of people in the room.
Oh God.
Yes. It's
Go
gonna
ahead
be
and
like
roll.
Alice in Wonderland.
Roll the first attack. With advantage.
We're in a room. We're
Yep.
in a room.
Whitestone's about to be destroyed.
And Raishan's about to leave.
Oh man, he's not even making you roll stealth, motherfucker.
Well, why would he? He doesn't.
Because I would, and Reich and Hotis did on me.
Oh.
It's different.
No, it's not.
That's 29.
Okay. As you
Oh no.
pull the blade out of the hilt to go ahead and begin to strike, you're a quick individual. You're also in the presence of an entity that does not trust anyone or anything.
Shit.
You take the blade and swing out in the direction of Seeker Assume. And where your blade strikes, it shimmers through the image. And there's a flash, and Assume is suddenly 4 feet away from the position where Assume was standing. At which point, everyone in the room stands up immediately and is like, whoa, 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 whoa! Cassandra goes over, rushes, and like puts her hand towards you, and Assume is kind of taking a few steps back and is like,
No tricks in here. No tricks in here if we're really going to do this.
There's this moment of extreme quiet tension as Alora's looking at you, looking at Assume, looking around, and there's like this kind of slow connecting moment of realization throughout the room as everyone's eyes go wide.
If we're really going to do this, no tricks in here.
And with that, we're gonna take a break.
Yeah! Amazing!
Allison!
I'm
That
into
was-
it.
Don't trust a man who just kissed somebody.
It's hot.
That's a man who's saying fuck it.
Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal.
I'm into it.
No.
I'm really into it.
Yes, we know, darling.
Alrighty, well, we'll go ahead and take a short break here, guys. We're back here in a few minutes, and we'll
See what happens next.
Hey.
All right. See you guys here in a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love how it kind of like. We're good for the song. Okay, we can sing it to you guys.
Don't leave the room.
All right.
Yes.
Going back to hearing, hopefully, when people heard what I was saying, I will re-say it for the purpose of saying it again. Today's song is called "The Unsung Hero," even more so now than ever, and his crew. It's about someone very special to us who is leaving today.
Spoiler alert. It's about a guy named that you might know as
Cookie Lord.
Lucas.
Lucas.
Woo!
You gonna do this?
Yeah.
While they're all in the spotlight, there's so much more that's going on. It always seems to go right, 'cause he's fixing what goes wrong.
There's a crisis that he's solving.
Vegas, aka Cookie Lord, and the entire crew, and Amir, and everyone who is awesome. You're the best. We will miss you.
Teammate, you can buy a song for $5 that's improvised. If you want a video, you gotta pay a little more. But for now, to demonstrate how that goes, we are going to let you get to know one of our lovely crewmen a little bit better. We did Lucas last week, so this week it is the man known as Dustin! Dustin! Let's get him out here, let's get him out here. There he is.
Fiverr hype.
Yeah. All right.
Let
Thank
your
you
legs
so
hang
much,
there.
Dustin,
All
for
right.
agreeing to be
So
here.
happy to be here.
Yay!
So excited.
Sweet.
What full name, Dustin? Full name for the people.
Dustin Butler.
Dustin Butler.
Yeah.
And just to like take a scoop in here. What do you do for worksies and what do you do for playsies?
I'm the technical director for Geek and Sundry Twitch.
Oh. Applause! What do you do when you're not twitching?
That was awesome. I'm usually riding and camping and chilling.
Riding what? Like bikes?
Features.
No, writing. He rides. He rides that feature all the way to the box office.
So that's cool. So you're writing
Yeah.
features, and that's just for fun. That's not even work. That's just hanging out.
That's like the long-term goal. Man.
I see.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. That's great.
What's your favorite place on Earth?
So far?
Yeah.
I had a real good time in London, like 3 days, and it was just beautiful.
What did you do?
Down under. I didn't sleep and I just ran all over the city.
That's awesome. Did you did like touristy stuff? Did you do like
no, not so much.
the Tower
no.
of London, or did you do like?
Well, I did. Yeah. It was with like a class, so I did like the Tower of London and.
Nice.
But basically, I just would ride the tube one direction and then walk back.
Oh, sweet. That's great.
Getting shrimp on the bobby.
What's your favorite place off Earth?
Off Earth?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know it's hard. It's hard. You haven't been, so it's hard to say.
But if I use
Maybe space?
If I use my imagination,
Yeah.
I would probably want to go to Mars.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
The
type
red
of
one.
music?
Hip hop, rap.
Hip hop rap.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge Kanye fan. I'm not ashamed of it.
Oh, nice.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Don't be ashamed.
Halloween in Vegas, baby.
Birds as the chat stream
I'm
suggests.
known for Angry Bird trolling and Angry Bird jokes. I have like a joke book.
Oh.
And I come out and stream and I tell hilarious jokes.
Hilarious Angry Bird related jokes.
You
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
written the Angry Bird fanfic instead of
I
Hector.
know.
Do you have
He didn't use the word porous.
Oh.
You're writing
So
about
sad.
birds and beaks and you don't use the word porous.
That's
Come on now.
Come on.
huge.
That's a
Come
forced
on.
decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have an Angry Birds joke just off the cuff? Do you have one that's your favorite that you use?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ready to
Can't
ready
think
to
of one. You
launch.
put me on the spot and I can't.
Already
think
in
of
the
it.
slingshot, ready to go?
No.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, I want to go back actually.
Okay.
You said camping and then you just
Yeah.
breezed right over it, but tell me about your love for camping.
Yeah.
Oh, I grew up camping all over Texas. That's where I grew up, and I love being outdoors. I like hiking all over the place, on the
Nice.
mountains, that kind of
Nice.
stuff. I did a lot of camping. Just started camping out here, and this is gorgeous out here.
Cool.
I love camping out here.
Well, I think we got enough info
got it.
for Dustin.
Cool.
Let's create a song.
For you, Dustin. For you, Dustin. There.
Okay.
Yeah, you
And
have to
just
stay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, you buckle up.
Oh yeah. Get him suited and ready. Get him ready. The coronation is to commence. Yes, Sir Dustin, you are here. You are in front of us, for you are the man. Don't even think about angry birds. Dustin will turn them into quite angry turds with his words. You know, Dustin likes to bike. He likes to go canoeing and he even likes to hike. But Dustin, you know this is so true. You like to get on the tube known as number 2 and head straight into merry London town, which is close to... What have you found?
This Justin, we're here for Dustin. See the message?
Oh.
This Justin, We're here for Dustin. Let's read it again. It's just in. We're here for Dustin. That's your name. U-S-T-I-N. It's just in. We're here for Dustin.
Dustin loves to travel all around, but if he picked one place, it would be London town. And if he had to go out among the stars, where then he would go spelunking in some caves up on Mars. Oh,
He's got a favorite type of music, it's hip-hop, you know. But we're not singing a hip-hop song for you, sorry, we'll have to go.
Wait, another arrow! Wait a minute! Say, this just in. We're here for Dustin. Second letter right. Yes. This just in. We're here for Dustin. Now let it be proclaimed that all the people of all lands of Mars, of Neptune, of Venus.
What of Pluto,
of
sir?
Pluto has nothing to do with today. No, but every planet but Pluto, because it's not a planet, will sing of the story. Oh my, what is it? A space letter? What's it say? What's it say? You know what it says. But just in case you didn't, let's read it.
It's just in. The king is Dustin.
Pray him, king! Pray him, king!
This just in. This just in. The king is Dustin. Oh, this just in.
What do you proclaim, Dustin? Proclaim your first decree.
Your first decree, Dustin.
What would you have of us, Dustin? What would you have of us? My first. That all shall sing of my power and kindness. Power and kindness.
Power and kindness. Power and kindness. You could do anything.
Of your power in the London
Dustin. Dustin is kind and powerful. Powerful.
You'll suffer from blindness if you don't see his power and kindness.
True.
Yes.
This just
Powerful.
Dustin! Thank you, Justin.
I love how it kind of like. We're good for the song now. Okay, we can sing it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Critical Role. So, when we last left off, Cloroto over here, which let us all marvel at the
Hey.
You're sucking
It was
death.
me all along.
Oh God! Are you gonna leave that on the
Oh,
whole?
hell no, I can't
Okay,
see
good.
or hear a thing. This is all coming terribly off.
Oh, it was so short-lived.
3 seconds of costume, that's all you get.
You can't put just this part
No, it's
on?
just
Just
really
the helmet.
uncomfortable
Just the helmet.
Yeah, come on. Wear the
It's
dunce
on.
helmet.
Do the friggin' helmet. I had my arm behind my back for 2
You
hours.
just killed us all. Wear the helmet.
True.
Commitment.
I have so many guns in my belt, no one can even see them, and I'm still committed.
I painted my entire body head
Yes.
to toe.
Yes.
What is wrong with you people?
That's
He
good.
is
You're good
naked
now.
under that table.
I mean, like, I can't really claim sanity. I just did something mind-bendingly
You
stupid.
now look like one of your own bullets.
There you go.
You have a very Merlin from Excalibur thing going on right now.
A dream to stop. A nightmare to others. Oh, like lightning. Yes.
Wow. We need more green lights in
that
here
movie.
to really get the effect.
Go see Excalibur. Not right now.
Not right
obviously,
now, but
like tomorrow.
All right, so bringing it back in.
Wow.
So, as your blade swings through and passes through the form of Sikra Sum, it shimmers and then darts backward into the corner of the room.
I immediately sheath and do the no more tricks. If we're going to do this, we need everybody to know what's on the table.
At which point, everyone who stood up and kind of held off the chaos, like see all the faces going off in realization. Assume goes from a defensive position and then stands up again, crosses the arms.
We are either going to win or we're not. I was
Correct.
hoping you were going to take care of that.
We're working on that plan as we speak. But pardon me if I take a few, how do you say, careful backups in case one would take a blade and stab at an ally, supposedly.
You know damn well that we're not allies. You know damn well that this is a tenuous relationship. And you know that neither of us trust the other.
At which point, Allura puts her hand down and goes, I'm sorry. What the hell is going on here?
We'll get there. I would hope that you wouldn't trust us. And I would hope that you would understand that we don't trust you. But we need to make a real plan now.
As the tension still resides, the Gilmore kind of puts his finger up. Pardon my momentary ignorance. Would you like me to cleanse the room?
I'm just hoping for a conversation to start that I promised I wouldn't start myself. And I'm trying to keep to the letter of my word.
It might help if Gilmore were to make sure everyone is on the up and up in this room.
Seeker Assume, do you have an opinion on how you would like to proceed?
Seeker Assume takes a few steps towards you, just casually, looks up to you, and kind of goes to pat you on the shoulder, his illusory hand passing through your form.
I'm quite comfortable where I am right now. Let us continue this conversation.
The floor is yours if you wish to tell everyone what the real plan is.
Very well. Since my hand has been forced.
Hello. 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 Seeker Assume is still back in Limon, dealing with the difficulty of preparing the current circumstance we're discussing. I am Raisha, member of the Conclave, and up until recently, tenuous ally with Thordak the Cinder King, who is now considered a mutual thorn in all of our sides. So, I've made an agreement with your Vox Machina for quite some time. And together, using our combined strengths, we slew Voragol, the Frigid Doom, over in Wildmount. We've returned to reconvene. I provided nothing but honest, upfront
and necessarily vital information to your victory. So,
I will confirm everything but the quite some time to the room.
I've just been staring at Allura.
Allura this whole time is you see her fingers like twitching, her arms tense, and there's just this very, very faint air that's like blowing her hair just ever so slightly where there's no wind in the air. She's on edge right now and is just looking to you guys for guidance, like, are we doing this? Cassandra, who stood up immediately, is, for the first time in a long time since Whitestone reclaimed, Cassandra now resembles more her age than she ever did. She has a look of her face like she's far out of her depth. And understanding the circumstance, there's legitimate fear in her face, and she's kind of looking at Percival with that look of, what have you done?
Now we can have a real conversation about what's going on. We have an ally on the inside, albeit an untrustworthy one, you'll pardon that, but there's every possibility that this is an elaborate trap, and I respect your intelligence far too much to try and pretend otherwise. You understand certainly what I mean. Having this on the table, we now know that there's every possibility that the Red Dragon knows everything. There's every possibility that we're walking into a trap, or there's every possibility that we have an insatiably powerful ally. It is a terrible risk.
Or an insatiably powerful enemy.
Also,
still a terrible risk.
Terrible risk.
Either
But
way,
it is what we have.
we can now ask about the ritual.
So, why don't you inform the room on how you utilized an entire race of people to break the ritual?
Everyone's still standing at this point, kind of looking. Cassandra slowly sits down, but is still kind of looking between Raishan and Percival. He watches Assume's form, steps towards the center of the room, the flash of green kind of flaring in the eyes with a smile. So, the anchor that you speak of was indeed removed from the fire elemental plane. We, discovered that it was indestructible. So, good on you, Allura. Well created. We tried many different ways of rending it, crushing it, sending it elsewhere without the enchantment, tearing Thordak with it, to no avail. So, I, in trying to find a way to bring Thordak through, we needed to bring the soul anchor and the fire elemental plane with it. The one place where such research could be gathered promptly, fully, was the pyre. Now, mind you, it was not my intent for such destruction to rain upon them, but I spent many years with them. I got to know them. They were fine people. And in that time, I learned the ways of temporal travel between the dimensions, the details that allowed me to see the fabric of the fire plane, to where we could encase a bit of it within the soul anchor itself. This, once we had managed to crack that essence, I was able to, from a distance, using the allies on the other end, Thordak had found friendship with some of the ousted fire giants. They found comfort outside of the ordning and under the shadow of the fire dragon, and using their deep, rich-blooded past in forging and making, they were able to convert the soul anchor into something that housed the essence of the fire plane. However, we didn't have a means of creating a hole large enough to bring both through without destroying both in the process. And as such, we waited. Waited for the right time. The winter's crest.
You bitch.
To some, maybe. But we called this the Ember Seed. the ember seed that resides in the center of this heartstone. That is what is causing Thordak to swell. It is what is driving him mad. That is what is drawing the very land around Iman to a fiery eruption. It is also what keeps his soul on this plane.
What keeps his soul on this plane?
What keeps his soul intact with this body?
Destroy the stone.
If it can be destroyed.
In theory. But we've tried, believe me, we've tried.
And you just kept the soul or the stone inside of him?
And to remove it, we destroy him as well. As the Arcana Pansophocles saw fit. So yes, both came through. Waited for the Winter's Crest, had enough power and understanding of the ritual to open the entirety of the tear, and Thordak screamed through flames in his wake. And he laid waste to your people, not I.
No. You used me. You used us. And my fear that I had originally appears to be true. A lot of this is my fault. I'm willing to accept my onus. The fact that you can't shows all the kind of person that you are. My promise still stands. And I'm thinking it might come sooner rather than later.
You do understand that without my aid, you will not succeed.
I understand that without your aid, none of this would have fucking happened in the first place.
Yes, and there are quite a few in this room that fall in that category. She looks to Allura and Drake.
So it seems all of us can accept our part in this matter, except for you.
Oh, I accept my part in this matter as well. You don't think I feel duped by this? You don't think I have many things I wish to tear from the very corpse of that entity? You think I don't want to see him burn as much as you do? This vengeance that burns within me.
And then what would you do if you actually got what you want?
What all of us want. Freedom.
I pull out the staff, the Spire of Conflux. You know, there are always many solutions to many problems. You think Thordak is the only solution to yours? This staff was birthed from the head of Melora. The same goddess who gave you that curse. What if you wanted me instead? Me and this staff. Maybe I can help you more than Thordak can.
Are you saying you understand the way to remove this? That you know the secret to burning this wretched disease from my form?
I'm saying I might be your best chance at salvation. And I'm pretty sure this staff is the closest living relic that we have in existence to the god who granted you your curse. Thordak is no god. That was your first stupid mistake.
I think if I might translate what my friend here is trying to relate,
If you fuck this up, Percy, I swear to God.
is that perhaps when the dust has settled, your salvation may either be found in the withering corpse or cackling smile of a creature that you are subservient to, who will take great delight in your destruction, or perhaps in those that you have aided who will feel grateful.
It's up to you, Raishan.
And I will advise her to take no revenge until all cards are on the table.
Oh. Good.
Clearly, you are the type of person who looks for answers in other people. You are clearly unaware of accepting any fault or any result of your actions. So why don't you start fresh? Do you really want Thordak to have another sway over you, another gift, another favor that he's given you, that he is going to hold over you for all of eternity? Do you really want that? You're stronger than that.
That's why we're working to watch him fall.
Are we?
If you need not my help, just let me know.
Oh no, Raishan. We don't need your help. Let me say that right now. This all just depends on what you want out of the end of the deal.
I wish to be given unfettered, unbothered, unwatched control over the corpse upon his death, to extract the information I need, and then I will leave your very sphere of existence and understanding to the end of your days.
What happens if we say no to that?
Well, then I'll find another way.
Spoiler alert, we're saying no to that.
Unfettered I'm fine with, it's just unwatched. That I'm
Then
a bit
watch.
of
Watch for all I care. It will be Greek to you anyway.
She's taken way too much. She doesn't get to leave without...
She's already left.
Yeah, I'll walk over around the table towards you soon, and I'll try and poke her in the shoulder. Him.
Just pats us in the form.
This is the deal that we are offered. This is the deal that's on the table. We are in a tenuous position of power.
You can stop poking, Gronk.
She's not here.
Crazy.
Give her one more good poke.
No.
How do we get in contact with you when we know when we move and how? How do I?
Well, what is your next step of your journey?
That is the question. Now that everything is on the table. I'm sorry to shock everyone. I was hoping not to be the cause of it. I was hoping that it was time for everything to be on the table. But this is actually what we are dealing with. This is the complexity. This is the battlefield.
Right, so we have to rally our forces to us, and we have to do some really smart recon. Do we make her a part of that, or no?
No, the further we, honestly, the more distance that we keep, the better at this point.
Well,
I agree with
from
that,
her?
actually.
Yes. She will probably even be, I imagine, in our way on occasion if we make our way to the.
But no one has any mistake. She's lying to our faces. She is not telling us what she wants or what she wants to do.
Assume what
You have a whole plan. Shut the fuck up. You've been droning on for an hour. Shut the fuck up. You're not telling us what you want. You fucking shitbag. Fuck you.
Keep Grant company.
Yeah. Does anyone really believe that this is all going to be fixed if we work with her?
I say we take a recess, gather our thoughts. Raishan, my offer still stands. If you want to come and find me, I know you know how. Maybe we can commune with Melora together.
You cannot comprehend the magics that you even speak of. It's cute, though. Look, I agree. Distance is of aid to us at the moment. If anything, I should probably cut off the information of Vorgul's fall. I should speak with the Cinder King and still establish my allegiance from his perspective.
Can you cut off that information? I would imagine that would be far too much.
Cut it off? No, but I can attempt to guide the Fury, if you will.
Will he know it was us?
Oh, I can guarantee it.
Can you keep him from attacking Whitestone?
For a time, maybe.
Can you guide his fury in a way that would be beneficial to the plan?
If I knew what the plan was, yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah,
we were saying ideally if we could get him away.
I don't think we're going to be able to get him away, but...
We're going to do recon.
I thought you
Well-
were smart.
And we're going to send out word to gather our forces at where?
What if he knew where we were?
We don't know yet.
Let's find out. Let's pick a place.
What if you knew where we were? What if we found a place? We pick our battleground. He discovers where we're hiding.
And Raishan rats us out.
And Raishan discovers this information.
Certainly put you in the good graces of the Sundry King.
Raishan takes a moment and thinks.
You are searching for us right now, are you not?
I am indeed, but Thordak has been using us as the attack.
Yeah, he's not going to leave his nest.
So what if we kill you?
He's not going to leave his nest.
What do you mean?
Very
How does Thordak know you're alive?
Because I check in every now and then and remind him.
What if he sends you out and
kill
you
us.
kill you?
And you never come back. He'd be forced to have to be the one to leave the battlefield.
If he knew where you were headed.
You're a clever girl. I'm sure you can make a ruse to make you look convincingly dead.
You wouldn't even have to tell us where you were hiding. You could just hide. And we could ready ourselves.
That is an idea. Take your recess. I'll take mine. Maybe something to this plot.
And we can all assume that when we exit this room, that our tenuous alliance is still that, correct?
I would hope that there's no more errant blade pokery.
Now that I know your tricks.
We do it to everyone. Don't worry.
Actually do, now that I
do,
think
yeah.
about it.
That's kind of true.
We're also not alone here. Allura, how does this sit with you?
Allura, who's now kind of sitting right now, just listening to everything with her hands crossed, kind of shakes her head and goes, to be perfectly honest, this bothers me a great deal, but the fact that Whitestone still stands does speak volumes, of at least
it does.
The cards being in our favor.
It's not the first devil I've made a deal with.
No.
Doesn't always turn out well, Percival.
Doesn't always turn out terribly either.
Regardless, I have a lot to think about. As do we all. And Allura slowly turns the head and looks over, probably for the first time since she sat down, to the illusory Raishan's assumed form. Assume lives, then? Right. Indeed he does. Indeed he does. Allura, the head turns backwards.
Can I do an insight check?
Go for it.
Does she know if assume is up to something no good? 25, I think. Let me double check that. 25.
25? Okay. It's hard to read the demeanor of Raishan in general. It's this kind of middle ground of neutral expression with a half-cocked grin, and this information flows at this consistent rate of being just generally difficult to read. The beat of hesitation is meant for emphasis more than covering, if that makes any sense. So it seems to have an honesty to it, if you could read any honesty from Raishan.
Raishan, now that we know you're you, Do you have to continue the ruse of being assumed? Or can you bring him here?
I can certainly bring him here if you like. However, he is doing quite a lot of good with the clasp and Brahm and Topher underneath him on right now, and they've managed to save many lives and continue to do so.
Maybe you could just pop him over then. Just for a little bit.
Well,
You're quite powerful.
what do you have need for assume?
I want to hear what's going on with the clasp. I want to see for myself that he's alive.
We're actually going to have a conversation with the class because we're going to purge the city once the dragon is gone.
Why don't you go see him yourself?
No, I like her idea. I want to see him here.
We feel a little better here. It would go a long way to earning
Well,
some
make your choice. Either I intercept
trust.
him and begin to work towards Thordak's ruse and set a space that convinces him that perhaps I've fallen into your hands, or I go retrieve your friend from him on. Not your errand boy, and we have limited time here.
Sure
Which is
you
more
are.
important?
You are our errand boy. We are your vessel to what it is you want.
Yeah,
so
you
get
need
busy and do it quickly. After all, you're very powerful, but that changes day by day, doesn't it?
So, him on it is. Very well. Back in a day.
In a day.
We will start figuring out and discussing a place for the final battle. We will find a place that is advantageous. Your input, if you feel the urge to give it, was always welcome. At least to me.
It's going to be very difficult to pry the Cinder King from his nest.
Your supposed death will go far for that.
If anything, but I have no guarantees.
As long as everything is on the up and up, and as long as we do not catch you in a deep deceit,
Good luck with it.
we will make sure that the plan moves in the direction it is meant to.
One day then.
One day.
And the image just
It's going to send a soon to us.
fades.
Good call. That's in here. So, Allura, just so it's clear, Seeker Assoon is Raishan.
And has been since Raishan's appearance in Whitestone.
And we didn't know until just 48 hours ago? Tops?
Now, can we maybe make sure that everybody in the room is who they say they are?
Go stab everyone. One at a time.
I feel it.
As you say that, everyone kind of like pulls back from the table.
Don't worry.
I'm a dragon too. What?
Hi, Larkin. Larkin.
Larkin. There he is.
I apologize. I didn't know what else to do.
You thought you were going to stab him.
Yes, you did.
That was not a play.
Yeah, let's be real about it.
Yeah, you shifted
tricks
gears
in this
very
room.
quickly
No
there,
tricks.
Percival.
I've told no lies in this room.
Whiff.
I have told. I tell that creature no lies. Ever. That is a green dragon. There is no tricking it. There's no deceiving it. There is just telling as much truth as you can get away with.
As you're talking, you
That's
feel a
different than
tug
with him.
on your right arm. And you look over and you see Cassandra is going to come over your side and is like, pulling on your sleeve with a very intense look in her eye. She goes, Percival, I can watch Whitestone. I can get the people fed. I can keep the people armed. I can organize the day-to-day. I can't keep it safe from that.
Which is why I would ask everyone
Percival.
to please not antagonize
Percival.
it.
I don't know what you've dragged us into in this, but I need you to pull us out of it. I can't do this.
I've moved the battle. That is the best that I know.
How long have you known?
2 days.
Not long, Cassandra.
2 days.
We were forced.
The day before we left to kill the white dragon.
There's a time difference. So it's hard.
And if we had told any of you, your life would have been at danger.
This was the best way I knew to keep her from destroying this city outright.
Things are
This was
changing
the best
quickly.
way I kept it from telling the Red Dragon where we are.
In the short term, it worked to our benefit. Now we
And the
need to
longer
pick
that
the
we can
pieces.
keep her a tenuous ally, the longer Whitestone will stand.
When she does come back with Assumed, this plan that we started in on, it's a good one.
I think so.
We convince, well, we have Raishan convince Thordak that we're amassing forces in Kaimel or something. Thordak sends Raishan to get us. We kill Raishan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thordak comes to check on her dead
Fingers
body.
crossed.
We send word of a dead dragon.
How can that plan fail?
I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks she's more dangerous than he is at
Oh,
this
yes.
point. Yeah?
I think if we
Yeah.
give her
Of
access to
course.
Thordak's body afterwards, we're asking for a lot
Which
of
is why if
trouble.
Keyleth can figure out a way to cure her of this disease, it takes a big card off the table.
Got 24 hours.
I have ideas.
We have more than that because it's going to take quite a while. That's just how long we
What
have to get
if-
a plan.
Question. What if we do actually just kill her?
Raishan?
When we fake that we're killing her, what if we kill her?
Just actually kill her?
She's going to be expecting that, and it will not work.
Yeah, she's super slippery. She just totally like evaded Percy's sneak stabby stab.
She will suspect it, and it will not work.
Oh yeah, no. Allura,
20,
Drake.
natural 20 for perception.
For perception?
Yeah, I said, is anyone around? And I rolled a 20.
You guys are still in the war room.
I know.
But
You
not
know what I'm
Raishan.
talking
Oh,
about,
of
though.
course.
You know what I'm talking
Oh.
about. There it is. It's right there.
Right.
Yeah,
You don't-
invisible
you-
fucking
you
lark
don't-
and dwarf dragons.
You don't see anybody else around.
All right, that's a 20.
Here's what I'm. Here's
Should
what
we continue this conversation downstairs?
First, is everybody who they say they are? Please. if
Oh
you
yeah,
will so
Laura.
Let's just go
Light
down-
your sage real quick and make sure everybody's on the up and up.
Allura,
That was
Allura, since
Gilmore
it goes,
going to
well,
jump in.
I mean, this makes sense. Assume was the one that requested we not move the war room down to the.
So why don't we move the war room now?
I think that would be the best. Yes, let us all adjourn to the new space at the ziggurat. That should at least keep things honest.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's the closest we
Picks her
have.
robes up and.
Carl, your beard might go away.
No.
It's really, it's in there. Just won't grow up.
I mean, for science, right? Let's go.
Did you have a beard?
You look really good without a beard, Grog. I've always thought so.
You shut up, you. Can we go down there? I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay. You guys make your way down to the ziggurat. The guards come and start carrying chairs and other elements of the war room. Eventually, you're all led down through the tunnels, which have been a little more refined and given an actual, more comfortable path past the now defunct Whitestone refinery that the Briarwoods had originally established. You enter the ziggurat room. It's more has more lighting to it than it previously did. A number of torches now line the walls and sconces that are lit as the guards progress upward. You can see the reflection to the green glass-like Whitestone material that permeates the outside of the ziggurat, and partially up, not right by it, but partially upward, there's a small wooden platform that's kind of been where the main base operations for research and study is here. You see a number of desks set out. It's been built along the side of the large pyramid-type structure, and eventually you all adjourn up into that space. As you go up there, you all feel a significant, as you enter the room, a significant drop in enchantment. All of your magical items, all of everything just gradually fades in this space. So, Grog, you actually feel your musculature, the Titanstone gauntlets themselves, the effect begin to and then completely fade back to your classic Grog-like strength.
I feel totally fine.
Are the walls still like
Flesh?
people?
Oh, do you want to go to the top of the ziggurat and check?
Oh.
Oh, it's not
Not
like...
yet, after the meeting.
I figured they had like a cleanup crew down there. Is that still, you know, like...
It's a guy with like on a scaffold with a scrub brush just going, ew, ew, ew.
They're really
ew.
clean, naked bodies now.
Brush cleaning out the fingernails.
At this point, they're looking around. Everyone who has journeyed with you
Yeah.
towards this new meeting place, the ziggurat, is of the same physicality they were at the meeting room. Any illusions would have been cast aside or dispelled at this point seem to not be present. So everyone is, by all intents and purposes, who they say they are.
Okay.
And this also means it would probably be impossible to scry in this room.
Yes.
Allura nods. Yes, actually. Yes.
Excellent. This is where all talk must happen now.
Where it should have been happening.
So now you know what we've been dealing with for the past 72 hours. She did help with the death of that dragon. In fact, I doubt we would have survived without her aid. She could have very easily left us there to die.
It's true. She actually revealed her entire form during the battle. Which is quite diseased.
At least it appeared diseased.
She's definitely not as strong as the others, but far more clever.
And she knows where we are and what our plans are. And every inch of this place, including this thing.
Well then, what do you presume we do?
We don't really have a choice. We have to work with her to some extent. We can make it hard for her, and we can be assholes to her and go tell her to get assumed for us. But other than that, we have to work with her.
What's the benefit of working with her?
Because if we don't, she can destroy Whitestone whenever she feels like it.
What if we tell her we're going to fake her death and then we kill her for real?
That's fine if she ever gets close enough for us to kill her.
She's not going to.
She evaded it really easy.
Why would she need to come face to face with us in that plan ever? She could say, I'm going to go meet them in Kymel. Oh, I died.
Our best bet is maybe, hopefully enough of us still have our strength, maybe at the end if she has been ravaged by the red dragon.
I agree.
Or maybe we
And then we
hope
try
and
to
we
defeat
wait.
her after that.
I agree. Our play is the finish line. That's it. Not a
But we
moment
have to
before.
beat her to it. If she gets a hold of that stone.
That's what she wants.
Our hope is
Yes.
to break the stone.
If we draw Thordak
can't
to
break
us,
the stone.
we can.
It's only because no one has.
If we draw Thordak to us, at least we control the battlefield. She
Yep.
could still be lying in wait to pounce on his body the second
Right.
we kill it. But at least
We have to hope that she's actually going to fight with us. She's done it once. We don't know that she's going to do it again. We don't know.
They mentioned moving the stone that shouldn't have been able to have been moved, correct?
Allura?
They moved it inside of Thordak, and then Thordak left with the stone in him, right?
Yes, which I don't think should have been possible.
Right. So how did they do it? Because I'm also looking at another thing that is supposedly immovable.
Supposedly.
I know.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Supposedly
Possibly.
immovable.
Nothing is supposedly.
Are you
Nothing's
suggesting we
suppossible.
put the vortex of doom inside one of us?
Kind of, yeah.
We don't know
That's
how to
kind
move
of what
it,
I was
though.
I was
suggesting.
thinking of
Very
putting
risky.
Allura immediately puts her hands up with, no.
There's got to be a way to move it.
to do
Maybe.
what
This,
with?
this is an absence of magic. It is a void of magic. It is a maw that devours magic. The enchantment that you put within Thordak is pure magic.
And you've been working on it for months, and you are smarter than us.
Right.
Well,
No
in
way
some
to transport it. None at all.
It could be the only thing that could break the stone.
Think about it. If we
can
could
bring
get
the
that
stone
stone next to the vortex, we'd be fucked.
Right, so what? We take a few wooden 2x4s and push it along?
Yeah.
Look,
do that.
everything
Ark of the
everything I
Covenant
know,
style.
everything I've studied, everything I've spent my entire life working for is useless.
What
near that?
This is a temple to Ioun, right?
It was.
The goddess of knowledge?
The only person I know of who rightfully worshipped Ioun was Bronn.
Brom.
of the clasp? Wait.
Arbiter Brom. He was of the council with us.
And he is in Amon, potentially?
According to Raishan.
Brom
with
was
Tofor.
with Assume.
What
Yes.
holds it there? It's a shame we can't open just a giant door and push it down here.
What did you just say?
We can't do it.
What? Say it again.
It's
One
a
more
shame we
time?
can't open a giant door and just push the dragon in here.
How on earth?
We couldn't do it. It won't work. Because that side of the door won't open by its very nature.
Mm-hmm.
No door can be opened to this room. No one can get in or out without
We couldn't have
simply
used the
walking.
gate scroll in here.
I'm trying to even conceive of a machine that could move this, but I don't understand why it's here in the first place.
I don't think the secret to defeating Thordak is moving this thing.
It's a shame we couldn't. How close? We have a line in the sand of how close we can get to this thing magically, correct?
This way.
Somebody knows something about
And she leads you back down the ziggurat out to the entrance where you guys enter this large chamber, and I'd say 20 or so meters back into the, you could see there is a specific wooden support beam that is structured within this tunnel, and on that beam, elements of it are painted black. Which goes, this is the perimeter in which the siphon devours magic inward.
What?
How big is it? How big is it, roughly?
What, the
Perimeter.
I'd say, give or take a half mile.
It's really big.
What?
And it's encased in stone.
In stone.
Yeah?
What?
Kind of, right? Or are we encased in white stone? Right?
I've got a terrible idea.
Tell me.
What? If it went only under. What happens to magical creatures when they enter the circle? Have we experimented at all to find out what would happen to a magical creature? A creature whose very essence is magic.
I don't know.
There's no humane way to do this.
Sure
What
there
are you
is.
thinking?
Kiki, get a fey creature in here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Send them in.
Oh yeah, they die and they just kind of go right back to their plane.
No, I think they just die.
And even if they do go back to their plane, they may not be able to in there. They may just wither and actually die. I just wanted to put that on the table.
Are you trying to make me feel better about
I'm
doing
just trying
this?
to. I don't want to lie to you about this. I've been practicing intense levels of honesty, if not telling the whole truth.
Sidebar: do we have all the vestiges that the Sphinx told us about?
No.
No.
What else is there?
There's one in the fire plane.
The Dawn Martyr.
Plates.
Something for pickle.
The Dawn Martyr.
What
the
does-
Dawn Martyr?
Yeah.
The
Dawn Martyr.
Plates of Dawn Martyr.
Yes.
I know I'm like the smartest one in the group, but we don't know what the fuck we're talking about with this little sphere. Why don't we go find that last vestige and see what it turns up?
I don't know if we have a lot of time.
We have time. In a day,
I mean, only if we.
in a day she returns. It will take us time to. We've chose a place. We move our forces in there. We have days where she can be looking for us, and then when she disappears, it's going to take a day or two for him to really find out. It will be about 3 to 4 days before anything actually happens.
What are we doing going after this vestige when... Can any of us even use it?
Pike.
Okay. Keep in mind. I'm not much for poetry, but it seems sort of poetic that Thordak came from the fire plane and the last vestige we're looking for is in the fire plane.
Also, we might be able to find some information on
This is true.
the stone.
The fire plane isn't just like Dallas. Isn't it
Dallas
like
not-
that?
It actually is quite like Dallas. I think it's a very reasonable comparison.
It's a horrible place where we could all die.
Yes.
But so is the Feywild. and we
But
did
we're
find it.
risking our hides for something that might benefit one of us, maybe.
There's
Well, that's
also
what we've
all
all
of my.
been doing this entire time.
No,
There's
but
also all of my
Basically
people
all of
there.
our choices at
We
this
could
point.
we could go in with the rest of the fire Ashari that are there. We could meet up with Sarkonis. The only other is the whole ziggurat encased in white stone?
Ziggurat itself is it's built from stone, and then the upper exterior of it is covered in this green glass-like substance that is distilled whitestone residual.
I have a plan. It would take a little bit of time, but it's vicious.
What?
Probably wouldn't work. Well, let's find out what happens to a creature inside here before we
Like a
do
regular
anything.
creature.
Okay, I actually
Like
do
a
have
magic.
conjure woodland beings.
That's not a magic creature, though. That's a woodland being.
No, woodland beings can be like fey creatures.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Something small.
Do it.
Just a berry.
Oh my
Just a
god,
teeny
do
little
it.
berry.
Okay,
What level's that? That is
3rd level.
Wait, if you like conjure him outside and then walk in, is he gonna go pff, and disappear?
Potentially.
A 4th
We'll
level, you
find
mean?
out.
Sorry, 4th level. You're
Yeah, and she can create some fey creatures. Yeah. What do you summon?
What's like what makes sense?
We're on one side of the
What's
line,
gonna
just send it
squeal?
to the other, see what happens.
I'll summon a
Little pixie.
a little
Like a pop star.
a little pixie.
Oh, I'm so
A
sorry.
little pixie.
Little pixie.
A little
Just a
pixie.
little
Doris.
pixie.
A little pixie.
Go in that room.
Hey, little pixie.
This may be, by the way, how we deal with Rashawn.
Okay.
What?
So you conjure a pixie?
I've got a plan.
Sure, and I send her in.
Pixie flies in. Continues to fly in. Nothing happens.
Pixie's fine?
Pixie seems fine.
Pixie's
go-
not a magical creature, I guess.
Isn't it though?
Has magic, maybe. Isn't a magical being.
Can you make the pixie do something? Try and have the pixie do something magical.
Yeah, I have them. Can't they cast like confusion or something like that? What can they cast? They can cast something.
Polymorph.
Do they have
Polymorph,
like fairy
right?
They can
dust or
cast
something?
confusion. They can cast polymorph. They can cast things like that. Yeah.
To try and hey, try and polymorph me.
The pixie turns around and nothing happens.
Nothing.
Pixie looks confused.
What? Sorry.
It's all right. You did very well.
Touch the orb.
How do you feel? Do you
Yeah.
feel all right? Do you feel?
Technically, this pixie.
Touch it.
We'll say for the purposes of this, sure. There was very basic communication here. The pixie is
Tinkerbell.
Yeah, it's Sylvan is the language that it speaks. So it is close enough to Elvish that those who speak
I know
Elvish
Sylvan.
can like interpret elements of it.
I know Sylvan, so
So yeah, you understand.
Hey, how you feel?
A little queasy, that's all.
Queasy? Yeah.
It's weird.
Hey, will you do me a favor and don't hold it against me?
Just
We can
do it.
Let it leave.
Just do it.
Will you go touch that black orb?
Don't touch. No. Don't do that.
Yeah. Go touch
Yeah,
it.
go do it.
She meant what she said.
Go do
No.
it.
I mean, she's only listening to her, so
Oh,
it's
God.
just like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter what person
Oh,
says.
Yeah. What could go
Do
wrong?
it. Fucking do it.
why would you
Pixie
do
goes
that?
to the other world.
Do you speak Sylvan?
Okay.
We don't know where it goes.
That's right. I don't know.
No, you know what she's talking about. It's Esperanto.
You don't speak Sylvan?
I've already done my dumb stuff for the day.
Step.
all right. So yeah,
Would have been so bad.
you float. You continue to walk as the pixie floats up towards the top of the ziggurat. You get to the top and you notice that all the bodies have been removed. It's been cleaned up.
It's just an empty pyramid-y thing now.
Yeah, it's just this like upper platform now with the walls that kind of encase it almost like a small coliseum.
I'm imagining.
And there it is, the general spinning black marble. Pixie approaches and like. Touches it and you watch the pixie just go, and it's gone.
Still as we expected. Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Well.
Wait.
Wait.
That pixie
All right,
just
yeah.
got,
Oh, like she's coming back. Yeah.
just got
Yeah.
interstellar.
Hey, Alora, how many things did you throw in the orb?
You see her kind of in the back, kind of leaning against the wall, like she's seen this 100 times. Like, oh, many things. chairs, outfits, pieces of stone, metals. We've put all kinds of things
Any
in it.
animals?
Anything alive?
No, nothing living.
What was the
Nothing
biggest thing
living?
you put in there?
Your desk chair. Cassandra said it would be all right.
Yes.
Have you put a box around it? Just encapsulated it completely?
We tried, and upon moving it, once it contacted, it did not move with the box. It just crushed and
Makes sense.
absorbed the box itself.
So, I have an interesting request, which may end up being too complicated. I'm not sure.
Probably.
Can we build a teleportation sigil directly above it, outside of its range?
Given the better part of a year, yes.
Worth a thought.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Can we build
Over time,
one
yeah.
in the hallway leading to this room?
A temporary one, as in like a
Like a spell.
like a brief spell. Yes, I can do that now. It's the permanent installation of one takes an exorbitant period of time.
As long as we can remember what point at which, as long as we have some way of knowing what point at which that we can re-enter this room, then we at least have a way of having it chase us into its range.
Oh man.
Or better still, if we run one way and it runs the other.
Have you been in contact? Have you attempted to scry or do a locate object spell on anything that you've thrown in?
Yes,
Probably.
but unfortunately, there's been no way of connecting anything that goes through. It just vanishes.
I think that's a fucking terrible idea.
Yep, fire plane.
It's a good last.
It's a
I mean,
terrible
last-ditch
idea.
effort.
What are you talking about? We can't lure a dragon into a teleportation circle big enough to get a dragon through and then somehow assume that the dragon's going to keep running into the room with no magic. And then what are we also going to assume? That it's not going to jump into the crazy Vecna circle and become a 9th level of hell after that? We have no idea. That's a terrible idea. I'm vetoing it.
I third that.
The serial shiller has a point.
Yes.
That idea is not
Great!
You've been waiting to find a time to say
I
it,
don't
haven't
understand
you?
the joke. I don't understand the joke.
Just struggling popped in my head.
All right.
Yes, Grog, you have a point. Fire plane.
Fire plane.
All right.
If we are going to do the fire plane, if that is going to happen, then we cannot go until preparations start getting made for the place at which we're going to have this confrontation. We need to pick a point, preferably far from here. Is there a ruined city? Is there...
What, for us to lure Raishan / Thordak
What about
to?
Fort Daxio?
Fort Daxio's near Iman.
Near enough.
And so is
it's north of
Kaimal.
Iman. Kaimal's east of it.
About
The
the same
Iron Seat
distance.
Ridge, yeah. But Kaimal's filled with civilians.
Fort Daxio has an army gathering there already, right?
Well, Fort Daxia has a piece of an army. Most of it went to Singorn, and we haven't heard since.
Well,
Fort Daxio at least does have soldiers already.
Singhorn is gathering their forces as well.
Yes.
Have you reached out to Singorn to let them know this was going to happen? You mentioned that they were coming to Ally.
Yeah.
We have.
We need to reach out to the resources we have and call them in.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone, I think Fort Daxio where this confrontation is going to happen.
As in
We
we're trying
haven't
to...
been to Fort Daxio.
We should probably go check it out. But everyone wants to go to the fire plane, get some armor.
We go to Fort Daxio to start everything up. While they prepare, we can maybe make a trip to the fire plane while things are prepared. They will not need us to organize the armies and gather forces.
It's really frustrating. I feel like we have all the pieces here.
No.
Figure it
No,
out,
no.
and we just can't.
We have
figure
all
it
the
out.
pieces buried underneath every civilian.
Have you thrown any? I'm really obsessed on the cigarette thing. Have you thrown any white stone into the?
No,
cigarette?
don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm sure they already have.
We have.
You know,
Oh.
it's gonna be fine, Keelan. After we kill Thordak and Raishan becomes super powerful, Raishan will come here and get the Vecna orb and unleash all sorts of hells on the world, and then we'll know what it was.
I mean, that's basically what's going to happen.
That's a
I
good
really
plan.
think
That's a
what's
very
going to
good
happen.
plan.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really Can't really do anything about it.
Which is why it's frustrating because I feel like we can beat her to the fucking punch.
Yeah, I think Thordak's kind of a fucking meathead, and we should just take care of
Let's
right
go
now
do it.
ahead of time.
I am. You already know how I feel.
I think you're mad to think that we can do that. I think that you're mad to think that we're actually going to see her again before the final confrontation.
Yeah, we're not going to see her.
I think she's going to stay
No.
far, far away.
She knows.
I took that
knows.
shot specifically to see where she was sitting and see where we were sitting. Right.
You took that shot specifically to stab her 3 times in the back.
If it had worked,
Percy.
it also worked that we found out she wasn't there.
Yes, revisionist history. Yes.
I thought you were practicing honesty.
That's like saying I farted because my stomach hurt and then I found out it stunk as well.
I was aware it could go horribly wrong. I was aware it could go horribly wrong, which was why I was prepared to say something.
Right, there's a master plan, we understand.
But yes.
All right.
I'm not saying it was the best plan.
Cool, Fort Daxio then. Check it out.
Let's gather forces at Fort. Does anybody else have
We need to
anything
go
to say
there.
to this?
We basically don't have a plan. We're just going somewhere until we come up with a plan. In the
Sending
meantime,
word out to all of our- we're preparing all of our forces at Fort Daxio.
Yeah. Cassandra says, if Fort Daxio is to be the place where this is to go down, then that will be the place we'll send our allies.
Okay.
Jesus, let's put all of our
Daxio.
eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
why don't
what else are we saving them for? This is
This
it.
is the omelet. Like, where do we want our allies? Far away
You all
from
don't
the Red
feel
Dragon?
like we are stepping into every trap that Raishan is
What
laying?
else can we do?
Kill
You
Raishan
can't-
first.
You can't heal the disease. We can't control this all.
It doesn't
There's nothing
matter.
else we can do.
We just need her to believe that I
Let's
can
be
cure
honest,
her disease.
Raishan wants Thordak dead.
Sure.
That's her end game as well.
That's the only thing we
So
can
that's
count
why
on.
we're
Only thing.
Are you
Because right
saying-
now Raishan could have us all dead.
Are
right
you
now.
saying you want Raishan to
Right
go
now.
with you one-on-one so you can do the Melora thing and then maybe you take her out and you want a shot at it before we try anything else? Because I'll grant you that.
I could try. That's what I was trying to bait her into.
You're not.
I mean,
She's not going to show up.
She's not baitable.
Allura does bring it to him like, I've done plenty of research on these, and I mean no offense to you, Keyleth, but you convincing an entity that exists on deception, through deception, to believe you in that regard, and based on that conversation, she already seems to see through that ruse.
Allura,
I would not recommend it.
Any chance know the gate spell?
No,
that is
she
far
wants to
beyond my
learn it.
capabilities.
Yeah, rare spell that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad in thinking that trusting this creature
Oh, yeah,
is
that's right, you
the
were.
only option available at this point. I say trust. Walking in this direction, this is the only direction available at the moment. Any attempt to counter her at this point leads to our destruction. She has us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, we got that. So we'll does anybody want to do anything else before we go to Daxio?
The only thing else that we can do before we go to Daxio is to send word to our allies. I think we should grab Cash, send him out to make
Oh my
the rounds. Quick list of who we need to contact.
We need to.
Ravenites. Feywild Wolves.
Singorn.
Zara,
Singornese.
Cash,
Your people.
Kima,
Keyleth.
Allura, you.
Wolves are on another
Gilmore.
plane. Herd is wandering.
Jamon.
That's by flute.
Tootie Toot Toots, yes.
How, like that?
Wait, what about our brotherhood of what do we belong to? Not the clasp, the
Slayer's Take.
Slayer's Take. We can get them too, right?
No,
we have
can't.
money. We can hire them. We have 100,000 gold.
You want to hire them to? Oh,
That's true.
We could take out a contract against the
true.
Red Dragon.
True.
Sure.
That's true.
We can take it too. Well,
We can hire them to
Absolutely.
kill a Red Dragon.
Yeah. What are we gonna do with that money when we're dead? Nothing.
We are sending everyone we know into one centralized location.
We'll be
Do we
there to
really
protect them.
feel
There's
like
always
that's a
more
good
money.
idea?
Yes.
Really?
This is what
Really?
we've. This is what we've
take
built
a contract
towards.
out on that.
we're
Is
building a
it?
trap. Where would you put them?
We didn't talk about throwing everyone we loved into the frying pan.
What do you
that
think
was not
that we
the
were
trap.
making allegiances for? Just to hang out with them?
It's not
We
that.
need them to
Where do you-
fight and die for us.
No,
I'm down for the cause of the war, just not when it's a stupid fucking plan.
It's
We're
not-
gonna
We
be
don't
there
have
too.
a plan. We're just asking everyone to meet in one location.
Well, we're talking about building an army
And then doing what with them?
To kill the general.
And then doing what? They're just going to be sitting there.
We're
They're going to be
to-
sitting ducks.
They're not going to be
People
sitting there. We're going
will
to
die.
make tactical decisions about where to place everyone in and around the fort. When
I've
the dragon
accepted that people are going to die.
Yes.
I've accepted that. I do not condone sending people to their slaughter when we don't have a goddamn plan.
What's your counter proposal? Because I feel like we're making a plan.
I just don't think that it's smart to put every potential ally we know in one spot. Can we not divide it up? Can we not?
We'll leave Gilmore here.
Find places find places nearby.
Well, they will be. They won't all just be in the
They're
fort.
not going to
We're
be
going
sitting in the same
Everyone is going to be
place.
placed.
Once
and-
we get there and survey the area, we can come up with a comfortable
Yes, it's
plan.
not
You
just-
can make some caverns for them to hide in.
Yeah, we gotta have a
We're going to also create ways of making sure the dragon can't take flight. We're going to make sure that everyone has a purpose and a place. It will not be just a giant swath of people ready to die. It will
We're
be,
just getting them in the right county.
We just need everybody in the city.
But we also know that Raishan knows everything that we're going to do.
Not right now.
She
We're
doesn't know Fort
speaking in a room
Daxio.
that
She doesn't know any of
doesn't
that.
exist.
She doesn't know Fort Daxio, and
She's
honestly,
not
she's
here.
She doesn't know
going
about
to have to know.
Tremont
She's going to have to send them. There's just nothing we can do about it.
I don't trust that she doesn't know anything. I'm going to assume that she knows everything.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Even so, there's nothing that she's not going to know because she needs to. She is what is luring him out.
All the same, we've
And
got
if we fought him here, she already knows where we are. Right now, she knows where we are. She knows everybody that's here.
I go behind Keelik and stab 3 times.
Is this happening? Are we
No,
doing this? I'm
no.
so excited. Yeah.
I would so lose.
Bring it! She's on edge, all right?
We have to play this the way we have to play it. It's dangerous, but we have to assume that she will not, most likely not betray us till the end.
Right now, somewhere, there's a man on an airship going, "Do you see it yet?"
They're keeping an eye out at this point, all right?
They're being good. We have to assume that she's not going. She has not betrayed where we are yet, which would have been so simple. It would have been so simple just to raise this city to the ground.
Look at what we did with Ripley. We walked into every trap that she set with us blindly. We got cocky. We got bold. We fell for all
Keyleth.
of that.
We have to fight eventually.
I know.
We're not trying to be cocky about it. We're trying to set up an
and
army.
might I point out, Keelik, that Raishan wanted us to go to Iman and face Thordak, and we are already not following that plan.
This is true.
That is the other option, is to go there.
We can count on her to be duplicitous. We gather forces, we take out Thordak. We'll figure out how we're going to do it. We're not saying throw every spaghetti at the wall. We figure that out. And then we talk about the real enemy.
It's a fort. We prepare the fort. It is what a fort is for.
And if the
To make
opportunity
stands.
arrives to take out Raishan, then we do it beforehand. If not, immediately after Thordak is dead.
And we know we're walking into a
We
shit
could all
storm.
be dead. by
We
the
could
time-
Why are
all
we
be
not
dead,
dead
but
right?
at that
Why are
point-
we not dead right now? Explain to me why we are not dead right now.
I honestly don't know.
Because this fight is going to happen. That is why we are not dead right now. It's the only possible explanation that I can conceive of, is that this fight is inevitable. Once this fight has happened, oh, we're dead. After this fight, I have no doubt that we are in
After this
grave
fight, there won't be enough people to bring us back anymore.
This is everything.
But this fight, this first fight, is going to happen.
It's everything.
And we need our forces, and we need them prepared, and we need them not marching into a city. We need them in a city holding siege, preparing to tackle, to grapple, and to subdue as best we can, to be difficult to find, to be surrounding. We need all of these things, and we cannot do any of these things unless we bring him to a place where all of our power is.
Let's go check out Fort Daxio.
Isn't it interesting that we all feel the need to convince her, no matter what? I'm just pointing that out.
Well, I don't know how we're going to get the king out of the castle, but,
We need to figure out if Fort Daxia is the place to send everyone.
Yeah, we've never
alright?
even
We
been
gotta
there.
fucking check it
Let's
out.
just like put one foot in front of the other first, shall we?
All right, Daxio
Let's
first.
go buy some black powder.
How do we get there?
This
I
is
don't
the
know
time.
of any trees there. Can you?
No.
I can scry.
Ironically, any town where you go to buy black powder, it's always him. It's really interesting. I don't know why.
And he's in 16-bit every time.
Do we know anyone in Daxio? Can you scry there to find a tree?
I can scry there regardless and find a tree. Yes.
Does the rest of the council approve of this ridiculous plan?
Yes, I approve.
This nonce plan.
I mean, yes, I mean, I don't know anyone in Daxio at the moment. Riskel was the only one. Or Riskel was when I knew the connection there, and his father, Mikhail, is in Singorn.
Okay.
Do you think that they will be agreeable to this plan?
Who are those who are there, most likely. Yeah, I'll give you a written, and she pulls out a small little side scroll, perhaps, so it's like scribbling a note. Says, "This is a decree from the council. They'll have to listen to you." She finishes writing it, rolls it up. So, that'll be at your disposal. It's not the army, it's the reserves, the rest are.
Any powers that you can think of, let them know where we are heading. Do not let them know the plan, but let them know that if there are forces to gather, they are gathering in that direction.
And don't share our carefully crafted plan with anyone. The details are so precise and exact, you must keep them secret.
The more precise details you have in a war plan, the more things that will inevitably go wrong in the first 10 seconds.
Certainly.
Said the
Hey,
president.
how about we go to Daxio and then you guys can catch up
Said
with
the president of the
airship
debate
that arrives
club.
in the next couple of days.
We'll do that, and then we're meeting you at Daxio, correct?
Please.
Yeah. Daxio. Daxio.
Daxio. Daxio.
Very well. Daxio it is. We'll see you soon.
On the morrow.
No, we plan.
Be pleased.
Be pleased.
Beep beep.
Beep beep. Good day.
Good day.
And with that, we'll finish the night session, picking up from here for Daxio next week.
Finishing it now.
Well, yeah, it's like 10:30.
What was under that blanket?
Oh, such a dumb
I don't
fuck
know.
ending.
We'll find out, I guess.
I know, that was a fucking
Dumb fuck
dumb
ending. Gurk-a-burk-a-durk-a-durk. Dragons.
Sorry, guys.
I tried to stab a dragon.
Yeah.
I swear I tried.
No, we know you did.
I tried
we know.
to end the game. I thought the game could totally have been ended right there.
Yep, you got that gunslinger sneak attack times 10 damage. That ends a green dragon.
I did the math on what that could have done.
That's
It was
all
It
right.
could have been
It's
nasty.
okay.
Had it been a less tricksy dragon, maybe.
It had been a Lex Trixie Dragon. That would have
Yeah.
been. That would have been.
Matt, you got a
triple
little
digits of
something
pain.
right.
Not here
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
here.
it's
Yeah.
this
Right.
right there. Just
They just don't. They don't even.
you got it.
You got it. You got it. You're good.
I get to enjoy this for a little bit at least.
We should have him walk down the street and take
Yeah.
bets on how long it takes
just
him to get
thinking-
arrested.
I so want to go to a 7-Eleven right now and just have
Put him on Melrose.
ask if they sell black tar heroin.
Yeah, like those YouTube videos
Yeah,
of
yeah.
social experiments.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Just
What
send
do
out
you
mad.
need?
Yeah.
Get 2 cheeseburgers. Double fry.
Flame fish.
Flame fish. Flame fish.
Oh, man. All right, we'll be back next week to pick up
Hey.
Hey.
whatever the hell your final plan is going to
Or
be
what the
for
fuck
this.
ever.
This is a great plan. I am behind this plan 100%.
Oh.
20%.
I am so excited.
100% behind this plan. 100%.
Thank you,
100%.
Luke Ray.
Thank you, Luke Ray.
100% behind this plan.
I'm excited for the countdown to Thordak that we are now embarking on.
Gee, Belize.
Maybe there'll be time to run to the fire plane really quick.
Well, I was gonna say sorry for being a pain on the ass on being convinced there.
No.
It takes a lot for me to sacrifice all my people when like a fourth
No,
of us
we're gonna
have
go.
already
We're gonna
been
go to the fire
sacrificed.
plane and get them, and then we'll pick up an object, and then we'll fight a dragon. It'll be great.
It's cool. I have an internal timer, and if you don't meet it, I'm gonna kill all your people.
Don't.
You know the glasses make that like weirdly threatening.
I love the glasses.
It's
That is a real
Sergeant
look, man.
Pepper's Lonely Heart Club, man.
New
Natural
at
born
Sundance.
killers.
Exactly. Well, cool guys, thank you so much. Everyone looks awesome. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Critical costumes.
Yes.
Critical costumes.
Candy from
get the contest done.
Yeah, go knock on strangers' doors and get candy from them.
Do it.
Razor blades.
It's good for America. It's good for America. Eat
That only
candy
happened
from
like
strangers.
once.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
guys.
it
Well,
actually didn't even happen once.
Yeah,
Okay,
totally
okay,
inflated.
All right.
Rest well. We'll see you next weekend.
Is it Thursday yet?
Aw.